Hey everybody, it's Steve Van Tassell and Jay Pounds here. We are going to be doing a live Dynasty Owner mock draft. And Jay, have we got everybody in? How are we doing?
It looks like we got one or two more spots, I think.
Okay,
I don't know.
cool.
My computer's being a little weird here, so let me go back to the lobby.
Okay.
It looks like we are full. We are full. Yep.
Cool. All right. So we're going to keep those spots, or we're going to...
let's just go ahead and keep them that way. Okay. It'll just probably be easiest that way.
Okay, so let me do a little screen sharing. We'll get kind of a rundown of the order, and then I'll try to see if I can do that. But yeah, we'll get a rundown of the order here. Let everybody know. Maybe we'll do a little intro of all of our players at the beginning of it. So let's see what we got here. We're gonna share. We're gonna share this. Where are we going here? Come on, blah, blah. Yeah. All right. We're not here. Okay. It's not showing me up here. Come on, let's go. Anyway, so looks like in the first spot, we have D's Nuts. And I believe that is your dad. Is that correct?
Yep. Yes, that is.
Okay.
This is his first time on Dynasty Owner. He's a new user. It'll be interesting to see how he goes here.
Okay. Well, let's see what he's got here. So he's going to be in our number one slot. And then, okay, let's see if I can share this. It's not doing that. Okay. Let me try to do something else here. So, yeah, so then in the second spot, we've got Skull Vikings, our 2021 Chase for the Ring champion. You are occupying our third slot. Our fourth slot is Quarantine, which is Nick, who is one of our Dynasty Owner, probably the lead commissioner. In the 5th poll, we've got Dynasty Owner Tim. In the 6th spot, that is me. I'm in number 6. The person I will be sniping for half the draft is Dave Delp, his name is Big Grizz. In the 8th spot, we've got Chris, the Human Fund, who was in the top 10, I believe, of the Chase for the Ring 2 years ago. In the 9th spot, we've got Eli's team, Eli Padilla. In the 10th spot, we've got Jet Chip Wasp. Matt, our friend Matt the Jerk, joined us in the 11th slot. Welcome,
awesome.
Matt. And then we've got Tyler Walker, who is Detroit's finest, bringing up the rear, so to speak. So in the 12th spot. So when are we going? We're going to start going in 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So hopefully that'll give me some time to figure out how to get the screen on. I want to try to share our screen so that we can, I don't know why it's not letting me do that. So let me see if I can share this and switch off a bit. Okay. Let's see if that's working. That's working. That's showing. Are we showing up the, no.
No, it's not showing yet.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know why it's not showing. Okay. All right. So Jay, tell us what we're doing here while I fiddle with technology.
So yeah, like Steve said, this is the first startup mock draft of the year for everybody. We got the rookie salaries in. We'll be drafting rookies like you guys are going to be doing all off season. So hopefully this will be a good starting point and reference point for you guys as you draft throughout the year. Like I did say, we do have a brand new user here. He's never played Dynasty Owner before. He's never done a mock draft before. So I'll probably be doing an article on that and kind of get his thoughts on the way he picks and things like that. So hopefully it'll help you guys out throughout the off season.
yeah, for anybody who's new and might be a little intimidated, hopefully they can see how it goes. All right, so I have finally gotten this up, so we can see how we're doing here. We can see the order, and I'll try to keep this up a little bit so that people can see. But he is D's Nuts, and I bet there's an interesting story behind that name.
Yeah, my mom's name's D, so it just kind of fit together.
Okay. All right. Very good. So, all right. So we are going to start. I probably should get myself into this room, launch the draft, and then I'll see if I can launch a live draft board so people can follow. So we can have people follow. It might not be on the big screen all the time, but we'll try to do what we can to keep it there. And once it gets going. So, all right. So very good. All right. So how much time do we have left in this?
We got about 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Oh my gosh.
I think there's 30 seconds between picks, so it should go fairly quick.
Yeah. Okay, good. Good. Should be fun. I guess I got to get prepared for drafting 6, don't I?
Oh, 3 minutes. Okay. We have plenty of time. I don't know.
We got 3 minutes.
Yep.
Did it slow down? Okay, cool. All right. So join us in the chat if people are here. All right. So who do we think? So who do we think is going to be your dad's first pick?
He just took Jonathan Taylor.
Did he just take Jonathan
Taylor?
That's
a smart pick. Smart pick.
Good job. Good job.
He knows what he's doing already.
All right. Very, very good. Very good. Let's see if I can get it on here. This is probably it's not showing up here. All right. We'll see if we can launch the live board again. Okay. I don't think the live board's showing up, so we'll have to kind of do. Got
to run on running backs right now. Skull Vikings, the 2021 champ, took Najee Harris. I like the pick. Cheap salary for a few years. The running back position is getting thin out there, so it makes sense why we're seeing a running back run right now. I went with Davante Williams. I liked him better than Najee coming out last year, so that's just kind of why I went there. And I think he didn't get a ton of work last year. He should be healthy. I know Melvin Gordon's back, but I'm going to play the long term here.
Okay. All right. I feel like mine's not refreshing.
All right. I'll go ahead and announce them as they go. Quarantine took Jamar Chase. That's a great pick there. Building through wide receivers.
Oh, I know why. Okay.
We got Tim up next. We'll see where he goes. I like the Jamar Chase pick. That's going to be, he's looking like it's him and Justin Jefferson as the top 2 dynasty wide receivers, so you can't go wrong there. Yeah. And you get an extra year of the rookie salary with Jamar Chase versus Justin Jefferson.
I couldn't agree more. So
Tim went DeAndre Swift, another young running back. Yeah. Haven't seen a quarterback go yet. I like DeAndre Swift. If he can stay healthy, that kid's going to be an absolute monster in Detroit, and they're going to have to lean on the run game a lot. With that, obviously they don't have a quarterback.
Indeed. All right, so I'm on the clock. And what did you say? We didn't see haven't seen a quarterback taken?
Nope, not yet.
Oh, now we do.
There goes Justin Herbert. I considered him at 3. I considered him at 3. But I know I knew running backs are going to go quick. It's just you can't go wrong with that pick, though. You got 2 years of Justin Herbert at $6.6 million.
I feel like it was a good idea. I felt like it was a good idea, especially with 4 running backs already off the board. So very all right. So let's see. Make sure that this Big Grizz coming in with Austin Eckler from the Chargers.
Not a bad pick at all there. That's a full-time running back. He had an excellent year last year. If Austin Eckler can stay healthy, he's pretty much guaranteed to be a top 6 running back in any PPR league just with his pass catching ability.
Yes. No, I agree. I guess I'm not going to get that stack with Justin Herbert. All right, I finally got the draft board to come up, so we'll try to keep that up. We'll try to keep that up for people. Having a little. There it is. Okay, good.
All right, we had
And it looks like we had a little replace. We had New Mexico Mountain replace the Jerk
okay.
in the 11th spot. So sorry, Matt. Thanks for joining with us. Hopefully people are enjoying this. If you've got any questions about what we're doing here in Dynasty Owner, if you're just watching, go ahead and ask. You might be curious about certain things like why in the world would I take Justin Herbert with the number 6 pick? If you're just familiar with regular Dynasty leagues, this is Dynasty Owner, and we use real NFL salaries and real NFL contracts. So I am getting Justin Herbert as my starting quarterback for his salary. What is his salary? His salary is $6.4 million a year. So that is a big, big, big important thing that we talk about here at Dynasty Owner, because not only are you getting the player, but you are getting their salary. And we have a hard salary cap of $145.74 million.
Yeah, like I always say, quarterbacks are Dynasty Owner gold, especially when you get a stud young rookie quarterback, or not rookie, but on a rookie contract like Justin Herbert. It's irreplaceable, really.
Yes, indeed. So, all right. So we got Chip Wasp on. I think that's Joshua. I think his name is Joshua Riley. Come on, Joshua, make a pick here.
All right, we had the human fun went Justin Jefferson, and then Kyle Pitts followed. I love both picks. Kyle Pitts should be the focal point of the Atlanta Falcons offense, and at the tight end position, that's pretty excellent when you're the focal point of the offense on a rookie contract.
I would agree. Okay. Oh, maybe we go a little. We went a little slow here, but we have Jalen Waddle with the 10 pick, Terry McLaurin with the 11 pick, and Joe Burrow with the 12 pick. So, and you can see if you're looking for the first time, if you're here, one thing I'll point out to you is, and maybe I'll make it the whole screen right now, is that let's make it the full screen. All right. Right now, you can see while you're drafting, you will also see the salaries on the top line. So you'll be able to keep track of how much in salaries you have. You won't have to do it manually or keep track. It'll keep track for you, which is good to know. And it keeps track of everybody else. So you can be looking at this and going, oh, at a certain point in the draft, the guy in front of me, he doesn't really have a lot of salary cap room. So he probably won't take, you can make some decisions based on that, drafting decisions, knowing if they're way high or way low in terms of salary cap. So, which is a lot of fun. So, all right. And looks like Detroit followed up Joe Burrow with Cooper Kupp. Not bad when you get one of the top 10 players in the league, 10 players in Dynasty or in the league last year.
Yeah.
With the number 13 pick.
Yeah, and think about it. What fantasy league is Cooper Kupp going in the second round in this year? It's
No, agree. I mean, and if you look at the salaries of the players who went in the first round, you will notice that all of them were under $10 million. Actually, I think the highest salary player in the first round was Joe Burrow. Actually, and even Terry McLaurin's under $1 million. I mean, if you look at New Mexico Mountain now, he's drafted 2 players, 2 wide receivers, and he spent only $2.1 million. So
yeah, he's got a pretty
less than.
He's pretty flexible going forward. Let's just say that.
Exactly, he has less than salaries than everybody but D's nuts.
But he's also going to have to plan come 2023, because you got Terry McLaurin and DK Metcalf sitting there, and both of them are going to get pretty big new contracts.
Good point. But maybe he's playing the 0 running back game. We'll see here. So, all
right, we got Eli.
Let's see what Eli is doing. So, if you're watching anything in the chat, if you're driving with us and you are watching us on YouTube as well, and you want to tell us why you're doing something like New Mexico Mountain, if you want to tell us what you're thinking here with those 2 picks, I think we know what you're thinking, that you got 2 very good wide receivers for like $1 million each. But if you want to announce some things in here, tell us in the chat why you're doing what you're doing. If you're with us here, I know Jeff the champ is with us. So is into Human Fun, Chris Pennington. So, and Dave Delp, who is Big Grizz, who's picking in 7th spot.
Ooh, Eli just took Debo Samuel.
Ah, okay. Up there it is. Okay. I think sometimes I'm on a little bit of a delay. I think sometimes I'm on a little bit of a delay.
Yeah.
Which is bad, as I've learned when you listen on Sirius XM online baseball, and you also get live alerts on your phone. The live alerts on your phone come a lot at least a pitch before the actual play, so I know what's going to happen, which is a little bit annoying when the Red Sox lose the game. So what are you going to do?
So I got a question. What do you think about DK Metcalf going at the end or the beginning of the second round there with Drew Lock as the apparent quarterback in Seattle, a new contract coming? I feel I would have waited till probably the 3rd to take him.
Yeah, I would have waited as well personally. Especially and this is my personal opinion with New Mexico Mountain at that spot there. He's going to have to wait a long time for a running back, and there could be a lot of them gone.
Yeah.
By the time he gets around by the time that team gets around to getting another pick.
Oh man, the human fund got me. I was hoping Mark Andrews would be there.
All right. I'm going to have to start toggling a little bit here and actually maybe trying to figure out a draft pick.
Good pick there. Big Grizz with Darren Waller. He's going to be the value at the tight end position this year at only like $7 million or whatever he's at. Just if he can stay healthy, that's a phenomenal value compared to what Kelsey and Mark Andrews and even Mike Gesicki and those types of players are getting paid.
Yeah, no, I would agree. What am I going to do here? All right. I know some people are down on this, but I really like him. I'm going to go with Antonio Gibson.
Not a bad pick at all there.
I felt like I was concerned, and my thought process, I'm concerned that if I wait too long here, that there's about 10 picks of 10 people who could take a running back before I get back to getting another one.
Yeah.
So, and I wanted to kind of keep my salary down a little bit at this point. So, but okay, we'll see what our CEO Dynasty Owner Tim is going to do here. So yeah, it's funny that it's in contrast, I would say, to last year. I'd have to look at the picks, but last year I don't think that 3 tight ends would have gone in the first 2 rounds.
No, I don't think so either. Kyle Pitts was going about round 4, but Travis Kelce was really the only one going anywhere near the top 2 rounds, I believe.
Yeah,
and that was interesting with his $14 million salary.
Yes, but he was the number 2 tight end, so it wasn't
right. No, you definitely got your money's worth, yeah. But I would have thought Mark Andrews would have been the top tight end last year, just in terms of startup drafts, because he was an $800,000 salary.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, if you took him or you took even if you took Dalton Schultz, you did very, very well. I mean, all right. So has Tim drafted? I'm going to see if I'm just a little bit.
No, not yet.
Not yet. All right. How much time has he got left on the clock? Oh, he's got a minute and a half.
I didn't even notice that Human Fund, the whole back end of the draft, did not take a running back.
Oh, yes, they did. Actually, you're right. Nobody did. Between Big Grizz and myself, there were no running backs taken. Do you think that's going to be a trend this year, or do you because of some of the wide receivers we've got here with some of the lower salaries? I mean, let's face it. In terms of salaries, I don't think has anybody taken. I think we've only had like a couple of double-digit salaries taken. Okay, well, Tim did. We had a couple of
just 2 big running backs went off.
Yep. And that's kind of what I was afraid of. But I mean, if you look at the second round, we've had people are starting to take a little bit of salary. Cooper Kupp with $16 million, Mark Andrews at $14 million, Dalvin Cook and Joe Mixon. I think Dalvin's 12.6 and Joe Mixon's 12. All right, Jay, looks like you're on the clock. Cam Akers. I considered him for when I took Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, I
I was
like him.
losing
Just
there.
he looked good in the playoffs. The injury doesn't scare me a bit with him just because of the way he looked in the playoffs. So I have no issues riding out Cam Akers there.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, which is why I debated between him and Gibson.
Wow, interesting. Josh Allen. I mean, you can't go wrong with Josh Allen, but that's a huge salary.
Oh, wow, that is a huge salary, but
But he's the
we'll see.
champ for a reason.
Yep. Nope. That's his pick. So we'll see. I would wait for the Josh Allens and the Patrick Mahomes, but there were people last year who took Patrick Mahomes in the first round or even the early second round, and so when I do my analysis of drafting, we'll see how many of those people actually turned around and won their league.
Yeah, that'd
That
be
will be
interesting.
interesting to find. That'll be interesting to find out. So
Brees
yeah,
Hall, the
I mean,
first rookie.
I think Dave Delp said what we were thinking, said what we thought too.
Yep. We just had the first rookie go off the board with Brees Hall for the York Jets. It's not a bad pick at all there. They drafted him very high, so obviously they're either not high on Michael Carter or he's just going to be some type of third down running back. But Brees Hall has excellent pass catching ability, so I was confused by the pick with the Jets, but they drafted him high for a reason, so we'll see.
Yeah, and I read something where they were really targeting him. They really wanted him. That was kind of he was one of their guys, and they knew they didn't have to get him super early. But did they? I can't remember. Did they trade up in the second round for him, or was he their pick? I can't remember if they traded up for that.
I'm not sure. I believe they did because they traded it up to get Jermaine Johnson, so they would have more than likely traded that second round pick away. So I believe they would have almost had to.
They did. It says from New York Jets. I'm looking at so I think that might have been a trade a long time ago because it was the fourth pick in the round.
Okay.
I can't remember when they made it. So yeah, couldn't remember if they had traded up or if that was their own pick. So, but yeah, but that's what I read, that the Jets were very happy. We're very happy about that, and that was somebody they wanted. So, I mean, we have a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk about the Eagles taking wide receivers in the first round, but the Jets have taken a bunch of running backs year after year after year, and none of them have panned out yet. I mean, they took LaMichael Perrine, and then everybody thought he would be good. And then they took Michael Carter, and everybody thought he would be the guy. And now, third year in a row, it's Brees Hall. So we'll see.
All right, we had the champ took Jalen Hurts.
Okay, mine is a little bit behind.
Okay, he went back-to-back quarterbacks there, solidifying his position. And then following him, I went quarterback Justin Fields.
Okay. And D's nuts went Deontay Johnson. Are you worried about? Should you be worried about Deontay Johnson with the selection of Pickens by the Steelers?
No, I don't think so. Pickens is exactly like Chase Claypool, so if anything, he's going to take away from Claypool.
Okay.
Deontay's kind of the short guy, short route runner, and Claypool's the deep field stretcher, and that's kind of more what Pickens is. He's a big-bodied receiver. He can go up and get the ball. So I think it's more – and I didn't even realize it because I didn't watch it, but Bryce told me that Chase Claypool actually announced the George Pickens pick at the NFL draft. So it's –
correct. I did see that, yeah.
That had to be a little awkward.
Yeah, one would think so. I'm not sure I'd be thoroughly thrilled about having to announce my potential replacement. So.
No, not at all. And it just doesn't seem like Mike Tomlin cares for Chase Claypool. I don't know. They seem to butt heads a lot.
Okay.
Saquon Barkley. Nice pick there. Think about it. He was going in the first round last year. So to get Saquon in the third round just a year later, they got a much better coaching staff. Let's be honest. Judge was pretty much a joke as a head coach. Probably a good special teams coordinator, but he's not head coach material.
Apparently not, yeah. And the funny Barkley's an interesting case because last year his salary actually went down this year for Dynasty Owner because he's on his 5th-year option. So in terms of this, if this was a league and we were playing this league out, Nick would have Saquon Barkley, he'd only have him on a 1-year deal this year. So if Barkley doesn't work out next year, if he doesn't do well, he could get rid of him, or maybe next year Barkley gets a lower contract, and it works out that way for Nick. So
Yeah, I don't see him back with the Giants next year, but either way, he's going to go somewhere and he's going to be a part of an offense. He's too talented not to.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Okay, now what do I do here? Actually, I like. Let's see what I'm thinking here. What am I thinking here? All right. I'm gonna go get myself some Stephon Diggs.
I like it, and he's on his $14 million contract for another 2 years. Is that how the extension was?
I think so.
Was worked out?
Yeah, that's still to be decided, I believe. But yeah, I think it's going to be kicking in 2 years. It definitely doesn't kick in this year, so I get him at $14.4 million this year.
And even that, I mean, wide receivers are getting so expensive. You have to pay up at the position. There's no getting around it.
Yes, but I think the Diggs he's a better at $14.4 million. I don't think he would have lasted to coming around again.
Oh no, I doubt
Although
it.
with some of these guys having 2 wide receivers, maybe, but I'm not sure he would have been there when I came back. So I had another person in mind, but I think that guy might come back. So we'll see. We'll see if I played that one right or not.
I'm curious to see how these last few play out here with no running back so far.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Well,
they're just going to have to pay up at running back pretty much, just the CMCs and Camaras. And
the Human Fund he took Derrick Henry. So he started that after Big Grizz took Nick Chubb, but Big Grizz already had Austin Eckler, so he's looking at Big Grizz is gonna have to start taking quarterbacks and wide receivers pretty soon. He doesn't have a single one of those guys yet.
There's one player here that has to come off the board. If not, I'm not going to mention him until you guys pick him. But there's an excellent pick sitting there right now.
Okay, huh? I have to check. Oh, I bet I know. I wonder if I know who you're talking about.
Wow, Mike Evans. He's going 0 wide receiver.
Or zero running back.
Yeah.
He might be going 0 other positions other than wide receiver.
Yeah.
Are you in the chat, Joshua? If you're in there, tell us. I can't really see the chat, the mock draft chat. But if you're join the YouTube and check, let us know what you're doing, Joshua. We're interested. So I guess he can use all those guys. We do. Dynasty Owner, for those of you who don't know, Dynasty Owner does have a flex position. So all 3 of those guys can start every week for that team.
And it'll be excellent. It'll be excellent depth at the position too. We offer bench positions which count 25% towards your weekly score. Whatever they score, if they score 4 points, you get 1. So your bench is a critical part of your team. So depth is very, very important.
Agree, but I can't think that he's taking.
No.
One of these 3 is going to be his flex every week.
Oh,
I have to think
100%.
If you were playing out this team, yeah.
CMC and AJ Dillon. The AJ Dillon, there's a lot of people high on him. It's interesting. With Aaron Jones there, I like the pick just because he's a young running back and he's looked good when he's been on the field. But this year you're not going to get a full-time running back out of him with Aaron Jones there.
Yeah, and I missed the Zach Wilson pick. I'm going to have to move up the draft just a little bit. We're going to lose the first round, but we'll be able to see Zach Wilson.
Another interesting
4th round picks.
Another interesting thing with AJ Dillon, the Packers really have no offensive weapons. So you wonder, are they going to move? Use Aaron Jones as kind of a Kareem Hunt type player and put Aaron Jones's or AJ Dillon in the backfield, have them both on the field at the same time. It's going to be interesting to see how they play that out.
Yeah, it will be. So, I think New Mexico, if I look, New Mexico Mountain, didn't they now they have 3 wide receivers and Zach Wilson as their quarterback right now. But I don't think they've spent a lot of money at this. No, they've spent very little money at this point. Agree. If this was a league that we were going to play out, they would have a lot of decisions to make in terms of salaries. But for right now,
Yeah.
they have 12 million salaries. I think they have you and D's nuts have less, but they've also drafted 4 players and you've only drafted 3.
Yeah, Tyler, I gotta agree with you. I think he's going to. They're definitely gonna. They have to utilize his receiving ability in the offense with just what they have present right now.
Yeah, this is what Jay was commenting on.
Michael Pittman. I was hoping he would fall back to me.
Is that the guy you were talking about?
No, it's not. He still hasn't went. But good pick, Eli. There, I love Michael Pittman, especially with Matt Ryan coming to town.
All right. I guess I better start jumping back into the draft, or else I'm I don't have any idea what I'm gonna do since I'm on the clock right now. Actually, I do know what I'm gonna do, unless I missed it. Yeah, I'm gonna just do what I was planning on doing, what I almost did a round ago.
Keenan Allen,
I'm gonna take me a stack.
Hey, our second rookies went off the board with Chris Olave to Big Grizz.
Very good, very good. Yeah, I at this point I like the Herbert Keenan Allen stack a lot, actually. So I know I'm probably on the high end of salaries at this point, but I'm not unhappy with that. I still have over 100. I still have 21 picks and $100 million to go. So
yeah, you're sitting fine in terms of salary right now. That extra, what was it, like a $20 million boost in salary cap that we got this year from last year?
Yeah, it was almost 18, so about 20, yeah.
And it made a huge difference. Like I couldn't imagine having the teams I do now under last year's cap or trying to make that work. So anytime you get a cap increase, it's definitely a huge benefit.
Yes, and you're gonna have to pay those. Everybody's got to pay those wide receivers, so it'll be it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. I think last year was hard to do the drafts in terms of getting to the right number and getting where you had a little bit of wiggle room. I think it'll be just as difficult this year, but
yeah, I definitely agree.
All right. Well, here's Chris's thought process on why he took Damian Harris, who I think was I feel like that was a pretty early pick, but that's just me. That's just me personally. I mean, you never know I think Belichick likes Harris, but they did use 2 picks on running backs, which I was very surprised at. I mean, some of the positions, they didn't take a single linebacker, and the Patriots didn't take a single linebacker in the draft when I thought they really needed one. But
well, I got 2 running backs already, but if you guys ain't gonna draft them, I'm gonna draft them. I'll take J.K. Dobbins. Baltimore's gonna win a ton this year. I was shocked he didn't go in the back end of the draft. In this league, I'd either keep him for depth or trade him, but more than likely I would trade one of these 3 running backs to somebody in the back end for a pretty good haul.
Okay. Quarantine went with Mac Jones. It's funny because I think I got Mac Jones last year in way deep in the drafts, and now he's going in the 4th round. I'm not sure he's a great quarterback, but depending on how Nick plays this, Nick could find an expensive quarterback later on to be his starter, and Matt could be his bench and bye week fill-in. So, all right. So you took J.K. Dobbins. So we got the champs on the clock.
He just went T. Higgins.
Okay.
I like the pick. T. Higgins and Joe Burrow finally got some offensive line help, so he's going to have time to throw, and he is going to pick people apart. It's as much as I hate to say it, it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I'd like T. Higgins. I thought about T. Higgins in around here for when I took Diggs and I took Keenan Allen, but I guess I wanted the stack more than I wanted T. And your dad took David Montgomery. Your dad.
We draft the same. We love running backs.
Okay. Like cheap running backs too.
Yeah.
I mean, the most expensive player on his roster is Breece Hall right now.
At Freiermuth, I like it. Get that tight end. There's really no other cheap tight ends left. I mean, you got Hawkinson, but he's going to get a new deal here soon, I feel like. All right, I'm up.
Actually, they picked up his 5th-year option, so he might. I think it's $9 million or so. So he might be next year for $9 million.
Okay, yeah, I figured they were just going to either give him a new deal or however that works with the 5th-year option and extension.
Yeah.
Let's see, who do I want to go with here?
Or you need to. I think you need a wide receiver or tight end really here.
Yep, we're going to go George Kittle.
Okay.
Spend a little bit of money there. George Kittle in the 5th round. As long as he stays healthy, that's a big question of mine, but we'll see. He's an elite tight end when he's on the field. Sorry, Nick. Nick said I sniped him.
Good job. Always like a good snipe.
I like a good snipe when I'm the one doing the sniping. I don't like it when I get sniped. That's never any fun.
Exactly. Well, Nick might snipe you next round, so that's why I like snake drafts because they're fun in terms of this. I know in terms of drafting, always interesting to see who, if as you're sitting there waiting on a pick. So to hope that they come through.
Uncle Lenny.
Uncle Lenny.
Oh, I'll have to stop saying that I'll wait for for your.
Oh, that's okay. It's fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect anything. So.
So in the comments, Jeff said he's going to be traveling to Ohio this summer to claim some bling, and what he's meaning by that is Dynasty Owner offers a chase for the ring contest, and what that is the winner gets a Super Bowl style ring. It's a beautiful ring. They get flown out to the Hall of Fame and all that stuff. It's a pretty great prize, probably the best prize you're going to find in all of football outside of winning $1 million or something on DraftKings.
Or a real Super Bowl ring.
Yeah. But as far as layman's terms, it's the best prize you're going to get in all of fantasy football, by far.
I agree. I completely agree. All right. So who's Tim going to take? We'll see. I'll have to go back. Go back once this is done and see if Tim takes my guy. I've got my pick already pretty much in my mind taken, as long as Tim doesn't grab him. So we'll see. It goes back to something. Actually goes back to something I wrote in one of my articles in terms of these players, because we'll see if Tim takes first, and then I'll make the pick, and then I'll kind of give my logic. So are we gonna have to nudge Tim along?
He's a busy man.
We're not doing too bad.
No,
we're not doing too bad. We've had a little over half an hour. And we've already gone 4+ rounds, so that's not too bad.
And usually the later rounds pick up pretty quick.
Yeah, they do, which is good.
You're not thinking as much on your picks because they don't matter as much.
I don't know. Sometimes they do, though. Sometimes they do, especially here. I mean, I agree in a regular league, sometimes they don't matter as much, but here, sometimes if you've saved enough money, you can make some really good picks, really good players who just are probably a little bit more overpriced than they should be.
Tim going with Amon-Ra St. Brown from the Lions.
Okay. Very, very good. All right. So I'm going to make this pick, and then I took James Conner. And the reason for the James Conner pick is basically him and Fournette, they got the same contract. They got 3 years, $7 million a year. I just think that Conner I know he was touchdown dependent last year, but without Chase Edmonds there and, kind of with their offense, I just think he's going to do a little bit more. Fournette, there's still a lot of weapons in Tampa Bay. They don't really need to lean on him as much as I think Arizona might lean on Conner. We'll see, but I figured with Fournette going that somebody was going to take Conner before he got back to me. So I wanted that. Thank you, Tyler. I wanted that assurance of my second running back there. So,
Hey, another rookie just went off the board. Kenneth Walker to the Human Fund.
wow.
Rashad Penny and Chris Carson are both only under contract for this year, so clearly he's their running back of the future. So, and Pete Carroll loves to run the ball. Let's just be honest. He's got Drew Lock as a quarterback. They're going to run the ball as much as humanly possible in Seattle. So he's going to get some work this year too.
Oh yeah, I agree. And I liked him. I thought he was very good in college. Personally, I saw a couple. I remember watching him play against Miami, my Hurricanes, and he just ran all over us. Admittedly, our defense wasn't great, but he was very good. I mean,
yeah, I love the prospect of Kenneth Walker. I hated that he went to Seattle, but now that I've been kind of thinking about it more and breaking it down in my head, it makes a lot of sense with both Penny and Carson gone after next year.
Well, I think I would be worried about Carson even playing this year. It doesn't seem like they have any kind of news.
Yeah.
On that. So, I mean, it's a neck injury, which is, who knows? It's harder to judge those, I think, than other types of injuries. But we'll see. We'll see. I would not be shocked. I mean, I'm hanging on to Carson right now, even though he's $5 million in one of my dynasty leagues, but in my dynasty owner leagues, and I have him in another dynasty league. But I'm going to shore up some running backs in both of those leagues in case Carson doesn't play.
Yeah, I don't blame you there at all. I could also see him getting traded somewhere. Just doesn't seem like he's in their plans.
I don't know who's going to take a $5 million running back with a neck problem. I mean,
it's the NFL. I've seen crazier.
Yeah, Jeff. Though I'm thinking that it's possible. I'm thinking that that's very, very, very possible. I'm also thinking that he might just up and retire. I mean, he hasn't played. He started sitting out like week 4 last year, I think.
I don't know the dead money or anything on the whole cut situation, so I'm not sure if he'd get cut or if they try to move him or what. But I definitely don't see him on the Seattle roster.
Yeah. We had a couple of picks. Eli took Josh Jacobs, and I was surprised Josh Jacobs didn't get his 5th-year option signed.
I was too, and then they drafted Zamir White. He's big bruising running back from Georgia, so I don't know if they're planning on him being the Jacobs replacement or if they just think they can get him a little bit cheaper than the 5th-year option would be. I'm not sure what the thought process there was.
All right, so I'm wondering. So then James Robinson went to New Mexico Mountain, and then T.J. Hawkinson went to Detroit's Finest. I guess he was contractually obligated with that team name to take a Detroit player eventually, right?
And that's a good spot. I think
you kind of have to, right? Yeah, that's a good spot for Hawkinson too. I just think that I would assume that Tyler's not allowed to use the team name Detroit's Finest if he doesn't have a Detroit player on his on every team.
Hey, I like Zamir White, Jeff. He's a good running back, man. He had to share time at Georgia and all that, so it's going to be interesting to see how his career plays out. I think he's going to do well.
All right. Well, we were going to have Rudy here, who's Dynasty Trade School, but he couldn't join us. It's okay. I think Jet Chip Wasp in New Mexico Mountain, they've subbed in very well for having no preparation time, so we appreciate it.
Yep, no problem, buddy. Family always comes first.
Exactly. All right, so we still have Detroit's Finest.
Oh, don't name drop. Yeah, my bad.
This is what happens when you have to do this stuff, Jeff. When you have to do this stuff, you have to tip your hand. Jay and I tip our hand every week in our articles. Let's be honest. I mean,
Yeah, my job.
If you ever want to know what I'm going to do at certain times, just go read what I write.
Yeah, my job's not to win; it's to help. That's the way I look at it. I'd rather help one of you win than win myself.
Really? All right.
I mean, I like winning, but if the content gives one of my moves away and somebody else ends up winning because it, so be it.
I thought you were gonna do your nuclear. I thought you were gonna do your nuclear Luge impersonation. I love winning more than losing, man. All right. So then who did we have go here?
Aaron Jones and then Tony Pollard. So Detroit's finest just secured up the entire Packers backfield and pretty much their entire offense.
Yes. And Tyreek Hill, jet chip loss. Okay. He's got. That's interesting because now that team has 4 wide receivers. So one of those guys is not going to start for that team. If we were playing this out, that would not start. There's the guy. There he is. There's the GOAT. That's who, when you said there was a guy who was sitting out there that you couldn't believe, that's who I thought you were talking about. Oh, let me move my screen up a little bit so everybody can see it. That's who I thought you were talking about, in all honesty.
I mean, that's a great pick, but no, I was just saying that because none of them really had any type of running back. So I just felt, the lead running back in the Baltimore offense, somebody was going to take him, but I guess not.
No, I like that pick for Eli. I mean, in case you're not aware, Brady is $15 million this year, not 25 like everybody, like he was for a while. He signed a restructured deal, 1 year, $15 million. So I think you know what? It's funny. Eli says had to. I think you're right, Eli. That was a good pick. If I didn't already have Justin Herbert, I might have done that the previous round.
Yeah, that was a great pick. He was the QB1 last year, so you have $15 million. You just can't beat it.
Yeah, I mean, he's cheaper than if you're not he's pretty much the same price as Jameis Winston, if you think about it.
Yeah, then that's insane. Absolutely insane. You're getting that type of production for $15 million. But that's why he's the GOAT, and that's why he's got so many Super Bowl rings, because he puts the team first.
That he does. So
good pick there with Trey Lance.
Oh, okay.
I got sniped.
Darnell Mooney. Good choice. I like Darnell Mooney. All right, so I'm on the clock. All right. Well, I'm gonna do this, and I'm kind of. Am I missing him? Did he get taken and I missed it? Did I miss somebody taking somebody who I wanted? Why is he not showing? Okay, somebody who I'm looking for is not showing up here. I'm kind of surprised. So I'm gonna do a little sorting here. Let's see if I can find him. Am I wrong on his salary? Did I miss it? I'm going to ask it outright. Did I miss it? Is Travis Etienne taken already?
Yeah, he's gone. He got taken pretty early, actually, in the 3rd round. Eli has him in the 3rd round.
Oh, okay. I missed him. I missed that. Okay, I thought he was still out there. Okay, pardon me. All right, let's see what I'm going to do. Well, that was the other person I was thinking of taking. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Dalton Schultz. Didn't show up. There it goes. So I like Dalton Schultz. I like that pick. Yeah, I didn't realize that ATM was gone. For some reason I missed it. So I took Dalton Schultz. I like out of the three tight ends who got that $10.9 million contract, the franchise tag. I like him the best. And I don't know. I think he might get a bigger contract next year. We'll see. But I thought I think that's a pretty good value there in the 6th round. I mean, it's $11 million, and if they treat him like a receiver, I think that's a pretty good pick.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there.
Yeah,
no
worries, Eli. I wasn't paying it. I must have missed it. So I was thinking he'd been out there way too long, and the James Robinson pick reminded me of him, and then so I guess there was a reason why nobody else was taking him.
Hey Nick, you just got me back. Don't worry. So Nick sniped me. I had Devontae Smith queued up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, let's see here.
Yeah. Tim took Jerry Jeudy. So, all All right. So as we're looking at some teams here, you can actually see a lot of, there's not been a lot of runs. There haven't been like some wild. I think in my beta league, I think last year, if I remember correctly, I think there was like a wild 9 running backs in a row run, and there haven't been a lot of those here. There's been a couple of we have 3 wide receivers in a row here. I think earlier there were a couple, but if you look at this, it's very much one call, couple. There's a run of 3 here. There's a run of 3 here, but 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, but there's not a lot of 5, 6, 7 run players at a position. So I don't know if that's because people are purposely doing that or it's just the way everybody values things differently. Oh, so tell us about your pick, Jay.
I took Chris Godwin. He's just signed a 3-year $60 million deal, so it's only $20 million a year. That's fairly cheap for what the wide receivers are getting now, and I get him for 3 years. Yeah, he's coming off an injury, but it's Chris Godwin. He's with Tom Brady. I'm not too worried about it.
Okay. Okay. All right. And your dad just went with Hunter Renfrow and Drake London.
I like
Actually, yeah. I mean, Hunter Renfrow is still one of the most affordable contracts. I mean, it's $708,000, I believe.
Yeah. Yep. And then I love the Drake London pick. Yeah, I actually had him queued up. He's going to be it's going to be him and Kyle Pitts. Thank you, Jeff, for not sniping me there. I'm going to go Garrett Wilson here, New York Jets wide receiver. Okay. They drafted him so high. He's going to be the lead receiver there. Oh. Same with Drake London. Like I said, it's going to be him and Kyle Pitts, and it's looking like the changing of the guard down there in Atlanta. So we'll see how that plays out for him.
Okay. And then Quarantine went with Alvin Kamara. Yeah. Yeah, Chris was a little premature on that. That's wide receiver run. Yeah,
you'll never see that again.
Yeah, words that have never been spoken before.
Oh man, poor Jets fans.
It's the Jets they did a very good job. I feel like they did a very good job drafting.
Oh, they did an excellent job in the draft.
I mean, yeah, I don't think those words have not been spoken many times.
No, not at all. My favorite 2 drafts actually were the Jets and the Ravens. The Ravens always draft well, but the Jets, yeah, that was a big surprise for me.
Yeah, I think it was a big surprise for everybody. I'm not sure Jets fans knew what to do. I mean, I'm sure they expected That reminds me of one of my favorite NFL draft moments ever. It's early, but it's mid 80s when they took Jeff Lageman with the 12th pick or something. And Mel Kiper Jr. came on all hot and bothered and said, "It's clear the Jets don't know what the draft is for."
Mel Kiper's hilarious. I love watching that guy.
I know.
He makes the draft a lot of fun.
Fired up about that pick. And actually, Lageman wasn't bad. I mean, I'm not sure he was deserving of the number 12 pick, but he ended up having a pretty decent NFL career. Ramondre Stevenson. Very good. Very good. All right. So I need to go back and see who's left here. What do I want here? Okay. Well, I'm sorting by salary here. So I'll sort by projections and see, but as you can see here, if people want to look, you can see a lot of $20 million $20 million wide receivers kind of at the top of the board of players left. So I don't want any of them there, guys. So we'll see what we got. Who's available? What do I really need or want? Let's see if I want a quarterback. Let's see what we got going here. I mean, look at all these quarterbacks available here. So interesting. I mean, I feel like I'm fine at quarterback because I have Justin Herbert. But, all right, let's see what we got for running back. I mean, interesting. How much time do I got? A minute and a half. All right. What am I thinking? What am I thinking here? I am thinking. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Wide receiver. All right. I'm going to take that. I'm going to go get me some Juju Smith-Schuster.
Tied to Patrick Mahomes. I like it.
Yeah, I just think the salary's too hard to at this point when I really was looking at those players available as I kind of scrolled through. I just think that we were I just think there were a lot of it was a lot of money there. I mean, most of those guys up there were a lot of money, and I've already spent a lot of money at the receiver position. You had in terms of having Stephon Diggs as well as Keenan Allen, and I didn't want to have another. I don't want to have a third $20 million wide receiver. So,
no, I don't blame you there at all. That's just too much, a little too much to feel comfortable with spending at one position.
Yes, I would agree. I would agree. So I was thinking, and I've pretty much got a starting lineup filled out right now through round 7, everything but a kicker. I mean, I could plug and play. I could plug and play this lineup pretty much on a weekly basis.
Yeah,
and be okay with it. So, not that I always do that. I don't really always draft make sure that I have one of everything. But I did want to. I wanted Schultz at a certain point. I liked him there when I take him in the 6th round. I almost thought about him in the 5th round as well, but others aren't as high on him as I am. All right, and Big Grizz went with Cordarrelle Patterson. That should be interesting.
I mean, really, when you're looking at the tight end position, though, outside of Pat Freiermuth, who cheaper than Darren Waller is going to be producing any type of meaningful, minutes or snaps for you? I can't think of one. So I like the pick. They seem to love Dalton Schultz in Dallas, and they use him quite a bit. So.
Yeah, I like him. I like him too a lot. I mean, he might get a big the only danger in just telling people who are picking here is that there still is the possibility he signs a long-term deal, and that if it does, that will supersede the franchise tag, the $10.931 million contract he has. So you have to be aware that that's a possibility. But
yeah.
I'm happy with Schultz. Even if he gets like a Kittle $15 million deal, I'm still happy with that pick. It just will mean it'll be tougher to fill out my draft later on. Okay. All right. So we're talking about the Davis Mills pick that the Human Fund did.
All right, I'm pretty big on Davis Mills. I love the pick there. Same with the champ. He likes the pick, but it's just Davis Mills looked good towards the end of the season last year. He seemed to really kind of figure it out, and they did, like Jeff said, they didn't draft a quarterback, so that's a huge boost of confidence for Mills and his position going forward.
Yeah. All right, so we have, and then Eli took Devin Singletary. I'm like, is that a homer pick? Eli's a Bills fan, isn't he?
He is a Bills fan, but if I was you, I would screenshot that and send it to people when you're trying to trade Devin Singletary. Be like, look, he's going in round 7 here. The Bills, they took James Cook, but everything I've seen, I'm not a big college football person. I watch the Buckeyes, and that's about it. But everything I've read on James Cook, he does not. He falls down when somebody hits him. He don't break tackles, He's so they have to believe in Devin Singletary. If they didn't, they didn't try to solidify that position. So that's a great sign for Singletary.
I put a note in the group chat about that and haven't heard anything. And I sent it to the person I thought was most interested in Singletary, and he said basically, "I'm good." I was like, "Okay." Huh. I may end up having to keep Singletary in that league and then
just trade him once he starts producing.
Yeah, exactly. Deal him in the point. I mean, all right. So then, Jet Chip Wasp. I think he might. Somebody might have to send him a message and let him know that you are allowed to draft something other than a wide receiver. But that's okay. It's just a mock draft. So, all right. Detroit's finest went with Cole Kmet and Kareem Hunt. In New Mexico Mountain went with Melvin Gordon, who I actually strongly considered when I went with Juju Smith-Schuster. I thought Melvin might survive another round. So a little miscalculation there, but that not major. Not major. Well, oops. Sorry, Tyler. No backsies. All right.
Yeah, Eli says Bills have a better O-line. We'll have a better run scheme with identity. This will be the best season for Devin Singletary. I I can't disagree there. I mean,
Okay.
I don't see him letting Josh Allen continue to run all over the place. Obviously, he's gonna have that element to his game, but I feel like they want to tone that down a bit. You know, as he starts getting more years into the league, and you know what better way to do that than actually run the ball
Yeah.
with your running backs.
All right. Jay, if you can send in the chat, maybe you can chat in the thing, send a note to New Mexico Mountain. I'm curious about what I see what he's doing here. I mean, you look at his team, he's drafted 8 players and has only gone $17 million in salary. So I'm assuming he's some targets later on. So I think that's an interesting draft strategy. And you can see that he's really going for the cheap salaries, where like, I mean, besides your dad, who's at $13 million, the next nearest person to there is Eli, who has $34 million. So your dad and New Mexico Mountain are kind of really going for the cheap salaries right now, whereas everybody else is kind of taking 1 or 2 guys who make a little bit of money.
Yeah.
You know, Eli has Kyle Pitts, who makes 8 million, and Brady, who makes 15. So yeah, interesting. And that's what you'll see here when you if you do a mock draft, or even when you do your own draft, you'll see there'll be wildly different strategies and salary amounts at the top there. And so it's different. It's interesting how people approach how they approach the draft.
Yeah, it's fun to watch how people's strategies play out. When I came into it, I was wanting to go cheap, and then Dobbins fell into my lap, so I didn't get a cheap wide receiver that I wanted, which was T. Higgins, which I could have took him, but I like Dobbins a little more there, so I ended up having to spend up on Chris Godwin, and I like George Kittle a lot, so I have no issue spending up on him. But it's fun to watch how different strategies play out.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you can see the I'll try to show it here. As you can see, we have the top line here. And so you'll see as you're drafting how much in salaries yourself and every other team has. And you can use that strategically at the end of the draft, because you can know at a certain point I remember one draft I did where the team in front of me at one point and behind me at one point, I knew there were certain players he could never take because of their salary. So if he didn't take, if they got through him at that point, I knew that he was never going to take them on the way back. So I kind of felt like I used that a little bit to my advantage in terms of thinking of picks. If I was debating between 2 picks at a certain point, I knew I didn't have to take it in one round because I could just get it at the next round, because he wasn't going to take it at either spot.
Oh man, Big Grizz just got me. I had Treylon Burks queued up there waiting for me, but great pick there. With them trading AJ Brown, he's gonna get production right away.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm on the clock. Sorry, I didn't realize that it was my turn to go. All right, so what are we thinking here, Steve? What are we thinking here?
I like Jamison Williams a lot, Chris. It's an excellent stash. You got a really young team too. I mean, you got a nice mix there with veterans in there with Derrick Henry and Mark Andrews. But as far as your team's looking, I like the Jamison Williams pick. He was the most talented receiver in the draft from everything I've seen. So it's a good pick.
Okay.
We got futures to think about here too.
Okay. I'm going to do this, and it's probably not strategically the best pick because I already have Stephon Diggs, but I just felt like the value of Gabe Davis being under $1 million was just too great to let it sit out there, to just keep sitting out there.
Yeah, he should have an excellent year this year. They didn't really bring in a whole lot of wide receiver help or anything like that. So outside of Jamison Crowder, I feel like Gabriel Davis is going to have an excellent year.
Yeah.
If Jamison Crowder
I will
can,
have to say,
oh, Scuba
I'm not
Steve
sure why I'm
Daniel.
Scuba Steve, but I'm not. Honestly, I was surprised Davis. I almost took Davis with the Juju Smith-Schuster pick, but I said I can't have two Buffalo wide receivers and all that. And then he's still there. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna stop believing that. So we'll see. Eli says Gabe's value comes from TDs, and he catches more TDs than Diggs. Yeah, I mean, and I don't need much from. Honestly, I don't need much from Gabe Davis if at just under $1 million. He's just under $1 million, right? I'm trying to remember his salary now. I believe his salary is just under $1 million. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I mean, I think that's a very affordable salary.
Yeah, I went Cortland Sutton here. I love the Russell Wilson Cortland Sutton pairing. I think he takes over kind of that DK Metcalf role, and I needed help at wide receiver. I got 3 running backs and all that. So now if Chris Godwin doesn't start right at the beginning of the year, I got Cortland Sutton there.
Okay. Yeah, because you didn't take a running back till the 6th round, and then you've taken 3 in a row.
Yeah. And that kind of was my plan. I know receiver is a lot deeper than running back, so if I can, I like to fill up running back a little bit early and then hammer receiver in the mid rounds.
Yeah, I'm thinking I need to start getting a few running backs here because Gibson and Connor are fine, but they both played every game last year, but that's not likely to happen again, is it? Probably not.
No, I doubt it.
Yeah, no. It's not. That doesn't happen too often. All right. We got a second. Do you want to answer Tyler's question? He says, you guys will probably break down the rookies in another video, but there's anyone that you love the landing spot for?
I like Jameson Williams with the Lions. I think that gives him time to kind of get back from his injury and get back to himself. They got Amon-Ra St. Brown and DJ Chark there. But outside of that, the guy my dad just picked, it has to be Christian Watson. Him and Sky Moore. I love Sky Moore's landing spot too. But Christian Watson, he's going to absolutely get a ton of opportunities in the Packers offense. But other than that, no, not really.
Yeah, I think I tend to agree with you in terms of Jameson Williams because I think there's no pressure. It's not like the Lions are expecting to contend this year, so I don't think that they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna rush him to have him play week 1. If he's not ready to week 5 or 6, he'll be fine.
Yeah,
they won't care. I mean, and next year DJ Chark's only a 1-year deal, so DJ Chark could be gone next year, and Williams just steps into that role.
Yep, and their quarterback situation's got to get better at some point, so he's going to get a boost eventually.
Yeah. I was very surprised at the quarterbacks in the draft, actually. I mean, after everybody talking up how many might go in the first round and everything, I mean, guys, Sam Howell was talked about as maybe a first-round pick or a second-round pick, and he went in the 5th?
Yeah, the first pick in the 5th round. This was one of the weirdest drafts I've ever watched, and it made it very fun to follow and everything. It was one of the funnest drafts I can remember, but it was weird.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. In terms of picks, we had Jeff went with Chase Edmonds. Your dad went with Christian Watson, as we were talking about, and Damone Pierce from the Texans. I don't even remember what round he was taken in.
It was either the 3rd or the 4th.
Okay, I'll try. Yeah, it's I can look when you look at the salaries, you kind of have a better idea, but I'm not looking at the salaries. Well,
Sky Moore.
Probably shouldn't have said that you like Sky Moore so much, Jimmy.
I already had Michael Gallup queued up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love his contract. Being, I think it's $12 million for the next 5 years. Like, you cannot beat that with this wide receiver market, and I love the talent of Michael Gallup.
Yeah, I do too. I have him a couple of places. So, yeah, I'm in this draft, he probably wouldn't have been a bad choice for me to take too in the Gabe Davis slot, but I'm trending at the high end of salaries, which I'm not really a fan of. So I wanted to kind of keep it down. I want to keep my salaries down a little bit. So, all right, I probably should try to see who I'm going to pick here. We'll see what Tim does. I don't want to give him any. I'll pretend if he's watching, I'll pretend I'm looking at flex, so I don't get my hand on where I'm going and where I'm really going. Wow.
Yeah, Tyler, that was. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm sorting on projected points. So, what did Tyler have to say?
I said he agrees with Williams and the QBs. He couldn't believe Willis was continuing to fall. I've never seen a time when I've seen somebody projected to go possibly second overall and they fall to the middle of the third round outside of them getting arrested or something or blowing out a knee. It was absolutely insane how far the QBs fell, especially Willis and him. There was a lot of mocks that had him at 2 to the Lions or 20 to the Steelers, and he doesn't go to the middle of the third round. It was absolutely insane.
Yeah, I saw a couple that had him as the 2 pick. I mean, do those guys get fired? I mean, or do they get demoted? I mean, I'm not sure. Seriously, if your job was predicting these things, and you said that he was going to be the number 2 pick, and he got picked in the 4th round, and not even by the same team. I mean, clearly somebody fed him humongously bad information, or he's just like picking names out of a hat.
Yeah.
I don't know who this person was, and I have no animosity towards him, but this just seems like a bad read. All right, Tim took Robert Tonyan.
Reminds me of a weatherman. They're just wrong all the time and still have jobs. No,
yes,
the NFL draft is such a crapshoot, though. But I agree with what you're saying. If you're missing by 3.5 rounds, there's an issue.
Yes, that's what I'm saying is that it's okay to be wrong, but to be that wrong just seems to be troublesome to me.
And I loved Willis, but I'm also no draft expert.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not none of it. I mean, we try to be, but it's hard. But yeah, okay. I'm not seeing any real affordable players out here, and this is kind of where it starts to get a little bit tough. I'm going to take somebody who I kind of like a little bit. I'm going to take Noah Fant. He didn't pop up. There we go. I took Noah Fant. I know it's a backup. I know it's a backup tight end, but yeah. Good point, Nick. Nick says, "Who's his agent? How much were these guys paid to hype up some players?" Well, hopefully his agent didn't get his agent not getting as much money as he was thinking.
No, not at all.
Okay. But Jeff says he went to Liberty, played against players who are now working for Enterprise Rent-A-Car. NFL saw Wentz collapse and Lance poor development and probably got scared from the small school QB. That's possible. That is very possible. I can't dispute any portion of that statement. I mean, I would be worried about it. I mean, honestly, I would be very worried about it if I was one of those guys.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, yeah, the small school definitely does scare you, but just in terms of upside, I thought somebody was going to bite on him earlier than they did, just because he has all the tools, and you got to think there's so many confident people in the NFL. Like, oh, I can definitely work with that guy, or I can fix that guy. I thought somebody was going to take a chance on him somewhat early.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, and so it also shows that maybe they just didn't. I mean, teams that wanted a quarterback maybe decided, well, I'm gonna, I mean, am I gonna pay him? I mean, Kenny Pickett's getting $3.5 million or something. I mean, do I want to pay somebody that much if I'm not confident that they're gonna be playing this year at all?
Yeah.
If you're Tennessee, you're not playing him unless you have to. I mean, you're gonna play Tannehill. You still think you have a team, that's going to compete. I mean, you were the number 1 seed in the AFC last year. All right. Have we had a big Grizz pick? Yep. Okay. I missed a bunch of picks here. All right. They weren't showing up. So after I took Noah Fant, Big Grizz took Tyler Higbee. Human Fund took Khalil Herbert. Jahan Dotson from the Commanders went to Eli. And then James Cook went to the Bills. So Chip Wasp, were you the one? No, he Devin Singletary. Okay. Interesting. So somebody's a big believer in James Cook here in round 9.
Yeah, that is an interesting pick. I mean, it's a cheap salary and a potential producing running back, but I do think it is a little early there.
He also has to start taking running backs at this point. I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was his only running back at this point. So
yeah, that is true.
Right. Let's see if New Mexico Mountain can find another $2 million player to draft. $2 million or under player to draft. That seems to be his pattern. So, was Jeff calling me Scuba Steve because I sound like I'm underwater? I'm not sure.
No, it's a reference from Big Daddy.
Oh, okay. I missed that. Sorry. I was getting paranoid, thinking I sounded like I'm underwater or something. So.
No, it's like one of the most iconic Adam Sandler lines ever. So anybody I know that Steve, I'm assuming at least, because anybody I know that Steve, I always call, if they piss me off, I'm like, Scuba Steve, damn you. And it's just something I've always done.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yep, that's what he said. It's from Big Daddy.
Thank you. Very good. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay. Chuba Hubbard. Okay. No, he definitely doesn't have Christian McCaffrey. So, okay. Rondell Moore, Detroit's finest. So after we have 9 rounds through them, so I'm just going to kind of do a salary recap here. Dynasty Owner Tim has spent the most in salaries. He spent $88 million already. And your dad, D's Nuts, has spent the least, which is $17.3 million. And New Mexico Mountain's not too much ahead of him. He's $18.3 million, only $1 million ahead. And those two guys are by far have the lowest salaries. I mean, the next lowest one after that is Chris, the Human Fund, at 47.9. So very interesting. So we have two people kind of doing the low ball, targeting all the cheaper players. Tim has spent a significant portion of his salary cap already, so he's going to have to find some bargains at the end of this draft.
Yeah, I'm not too far behind him at 76 million, so I'm going to have to start thinking cheap before too long.
Yeah, you're kind of third at that point because Eli is 84 million, and yeah, you're third, but you're not too much. I mean, you're not. I'm kind of in the middle of the pack, and I'm at 67, so we're not much different, really. I mean, but remember, these are 25 Dynasty Owner drafts are 25 round drafts, so at this point, we still do have 16 picks to go. So, all right, I'm just kind of scroll up a little bit, get this so people can see what we're doing.
Oh, Jeff said he knows my pick before I even make it. We'll see. I got it down to a couple different people here, so we'll see.
Yeah, Eli said 46 million went into one QB, so I'm not doing that bad yet. No, agree, Eli. It's not, but that's what happens when Dynasty Owner, when you do spend $46 million into one player, you are right up there among having the highest salaries taken. So, at a certain point, some players may be out of reach for Eli's budget. Or if he takes them, then he's really going to have to find cheap players after this. So, all right.
So there goes Kenny Pickett to Chip Wasp.
Okay. Yep. And Kadarius Toney. Is that his first quarterback? No, he has Trevor Lawrence too. There's somebody out there who didn't feel like had a quarterback at a certain point, but I don't think your dad has a quarterback yet. He's not.
Nope.
Okay. Did you send him can you send him a text, let him know that we do play with a quarterback just in case?
I think he's waiting on Mahomes. be my guess.
All right. So, Zeke Elliott just went to the Human Fund. 15. Then Marlon Mack to Big Grizz. I actually considered Marlon Mack. So, all right. So I got to go back here and I got to find somebody to draft me up here.
I have no idea which way to go with my next pick here. So many options.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Let's see what we got here. You can see what I'm doing. I'm looking at different positions and players and seeing what we got around here. Oof, geez. Feels like at a certain point, there's not a lot of players here. So,
hey Jeff, I did have Kenny Pickett queued up. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I had him queued up. I don't know if I would have took him. There's two other guys I'm toggling between, but Kenny Pickett was definitely on there.
Okay. All right. I'm struggling to decide here. I think I'm going to do what I initially thought, and I'm going to take Chase Claypool.
There was the other one that was on
there. I'm not. Yeah, and I wasn't doing that to snipe you, Jay. I was doing it more that if you looked at when I was looking through those salaries, if you looked at when I was looking at it, I had it sorted by projected points. Not that it's going to come true, but it's an idea. And so, and if you looked at all the salaries that were there for those wide receivers, they were all double-digit $1 million salaries, except for Claypool. And so, and since I'm on the high end of the salary structure at this point, I couldn't really afford, I don't think, a $15-16 million wide receiver like a Brandon Cooks. So I decided to take Claypool because it's a little over $1 million salary.
Yeah, I don't blame you a bit there.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I know he may have announced his replacement, but he's still going to play this year, and so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I didn't think Claypool was going to get back to me, and clearly he wasn't. Both of you were going to take him. Tim might have been looking at him too.
Yeah, he stuck out to me a little bit. I considered him way back when I took Gabe Davis too. I mean, I've thought about him the last couple of rounds. I'm kind of surprised he lasted this long. Especially with people taking like a Kadarius Toney, and Mecole Hardman. I couldn't take Mecole Hardman in this team because I already have Juju, but if you're going to take Mecole Hardman, maybe just take Chase Claypool at the same salary.
Yeah. Yep, I agree there.
Hardman probably has a little more has a higher ceiling, but he definitely has a lower I feel like Claypool's got a higher floor.
Yeah, he definitely does. Claypool, interesting note on Claypool, he didn't actually start playing football until like the 11th grade. He was a Canadian, so it's not huge. They obviously have football up there, but it's not huge up there. So he's still actually kind of developing in a way, and if he realizes his full potential, he could be scary.
And wow, he's Canadian, huh?
Yep.
Okay, who knew? Do you remember Remote Control? Did you ever see Remote Control, or am I way dating myself now?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Remote Control. Remember they had Dead or Canadian?
I don't remember that.
The MTV TV show.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't remember much. I remember the name of it, but I don't remember much.
They had a feature which was Dead or Canadian.
All right, we got Tim up. Let's see where he goes here. I'm curious to see what's his salary look like.
Yeah,
Kenneth Gainwell. All right, I am going to
quarantine. Quickly took Odell Beckham Jr. Unless that's just a lag on my screen.
If we were playing this out next year, I probably would go in a different direction, but I'm going to go ahead and take Lamar Jackson here.
I considered Lamar Jackson there. I very much considered Lamar Jackson there, but kind of for the same reason as you just expressed. But actually, for you, I feel like that's a very good pick because I'm not sure you want to, if you were playing the season, I'm not sure you would really want to go in with Justin Fields as your number one quarterback.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have a
So,
lot. I have a lot of faith in Fields, but I'm probably biased because he's an Ohio State guy.
yeah. But I mean, but that's a good idea to have a Lamar Jackson, especially because most of the other quarterbacks who are available are like $10 million more than him.
Yeah.
Most of the other high end.
Oh, absolutely, Chris. He said it's certainly unique to get to Dynasty Owner for Lamar Jackson to be in the 10th round, and that's 100% correct. I mean, what other drafts are you seeing Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes go in round 10? It, you know,
True. Well, here's another thing. I mean, here's some other things. I mean, if you look at some of the players available and stuff like that, and you just kind of look at some of these players who are available. Let me take quarterbacks off because it's just kind of that skews things in terms of points. But I mean, look at some of these big name players: DJ Moore, Amari Cooper, Brandon Cooks, Michael Thomas, Mike Williams, Tyler Lockett. I mean, those are some big name players who are still sitting out there coming into round 11.
Yep. Okay, there we go. My dad started spending. I knew it. Mahomes was next. And then he
Mahomes and
went
DeAndre Hopkins.
Hopkins. So he
Wow.
spent up finally. And
Yes.
he's
Wow.
got a lot of good young talent too. So.
He spent a lot of money. He spent a lot. He spent about $72 million in like 30 seconds.
But good job for
Yeah.
for the first draft ever on Dynasty Owner. Good job. I like it a lot.
Yeah. He's probably mad at you too because he probably was going to take Lamar Jackson. Maybe he was going to take Lamar Jackson. He wouldn't have to spend $70 million. He wouldn't have had to spend $50 million.
No, whenever Kenny Pickett went and I said he's probably waiting on Mahomes, he texted me and said, "Shut up, Mahomes is next."
Yeah. Irv Smith. Wow. We'll see. I'm not sure I'm sold on him. He's been kind of the next thing coming for a couple of years, and
Yeah.
we'll see.
Eli said Jay's dad is doing better than me, and he's got a lot of time under his belt in fantasy. He's the one that taught me how to play, so he knows what he's doing.
It's just the salary element that's kind of new to him.
Yep.
Are you going to be in a league with your dad?
Oh yeah, we're actually in 2 leagues. One of them we've been in for a long time now together. It's been.
I'm in a dynasty. Are you going to join a dynasty owned league?
Oh yeah, as long as he's wanting to, I definitely will.
Okay, cool.
All right, let's see.
Cool.
Take Jacoby Myers with my next pick. Stack up on some wide receivers here.
Good pick. Good pick. Quarantine took Calvin Ridley.
That's not a bad pick here. Calvin Ridley's a top tier talent. He was going in the second round last year of most drafts, so you're getting him in the 11th here. Yeah, you got to wait a year, but it's a great pick.
I think I know who Tim would pick if he doesn't have a lot of salaries, but I'm not sure. Okay. This is what Jeff's saying. Sure. You got blocked by Kyle Rudolph. Okay. I'm not sure about that, but we'll see. But Tim's on the clock here. I think Tim has the highest, the biggest salary. Okay, he went with Alan Lazard, so I could, sorry, I hit the wrong thing. Shoot. Now I'm out. Now I gotta do this. My bad. I did that wrong. Let me launch this live draft board. All right, I'm on the clock, but I hit the wrong button. So don't do that, kids. Don't do that. Stay in school. Kids, stay in school. Don't hit the wrong button during your Dynasty Owner draft. Wow. mean, if you look here, when I'm looking here, I'm ranking it on projected points, and you're seeing a lot of wide receivers here, if you've noticed. In terms of that, I'm not seeing a lot of other players here. Huh.
Yeah, the draft board's starting to get pretty thin unless you have some actual money to spend here. I mean, you're still
Yes.
pretty low at 69 million, but I'm sitting at 103, so I got to start looking insanely cheap for a little while.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't like him last year. Think about it. I'm thinking. I'm going to do it. The heck. I take Brandon Cooks.
Good pick there. Him and Mills seem to really have good chemistry towards the end of last season. And they didn't draft another quarterback, and they signed Brandon Cooks to a little extension. So,
and John Mechie went. So we have a run on Texans wide receivers.
A Jets and a Texans running the same draft. How about that?
Yeah. All right. I dare the human fund to take like Danny Amendola or Chris Moore at this point.
You go Nico Collins.
I got another Scuba Steve reference. Oh, good question here. We have Jeff asked the question in the chat, actually. Will Calvin Ridley be eligible to be placed on IR, or since he isn't hurt, will he have to occupy a bench spot all season? I know the answer to this question, actually, because I have Calvin Ridley on my Beta League team, and he is on an IR spot right now for me. So it's IR or out, and he's classified as out for the season, so he is eligible to be on an IR spot for us. So actually, in the one league I have Calvin Ridley, he is occupying that spot right now for me. So the answer is IR. Eli had answered the question too, but I just answered it a lot more long-windedly. Because I didn't see Eli's answer. Actually, Eli had the answer spot on. I just didn't see his answer after I started talking. So, good question, Jeff. Good answer, Eli.
Yeah, that was an excellent question.
Yeah.
It's a IR out suspension, all that type of stuff slot. But yeah, you can call it a dumb player who gambles on their own team slot. I like that name better anyway. I can't believe I still am dumbfounded that he did that. Every NFL player I've seen talk about it said there are signs everywhere in NFL locker rooms saying don't gamble, and then you go out and gamble, especially under your own name. It's just mind blowing.
Well, Pete Rose did the same thing. I mean, they say that's the first sign that you see when you go into a baseball clubhouse is the prohibition against gambling, and he was managing the Reds and doing it. So, I mean,
yeah,
I agree. It is dumb. It is dumbfounding. It is completely. All right. Well, is it just my?
We had after John Mechie, Human Fun took Logan Thomas, and then George Pickens by Eli. Good pick, Eli. Steelers don't miss on wide receivers very often.
Okay, and then Jet Chip Wasp took Laviska Shenault from the Jaguars. Is that did he have? Yes, he has Trevor Lawrence. That is the first and only possibly stack of Trevor Lawrence and Laviska Shenault. The first Jaguar wide receiver run quarterback stack in 2022. Congratulations.
I tried with Darnell Mooney and Fields, but I got sniped.
Yeah. How many people have done a stack? I know I have a Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert stack, but I can't remember if anybody else has one. Your dad might with Patrick Mahomes. Did he take? No, I don't think he took Sky Moore. I'm trying to remember. I'd have to really kind of look at the board a little bit, but to see if anybody else has one. I'm not seeing one for Detroit's Finest. I'm not seeing one for Zach Wilson. Not seeing one for. So, I mean, are people? Maybe some of the folks who are drafting can answer this in the chat. Do we not? Do people not stack? Do you not like stacks, or is it just they haven't been able? You haven't been able to make them happen. I'm just curious if anybody, because I'm not seeing many, if any, stacks. I mean, and I intentionally did the Herbert Allen stack. So, is it exclusive to Dynasty Owner, or do people just not do stacks? Some of these folks do just not do stacks in general.
For me, I just think it's harder to do, the stacks, especially the stacks you want, because most of them are getting paid good money. So it's just a little bit harder, but I think most people prefer to do it. I just think that's kind of how this one played out, I'm guessing. So we'll see what they got to say.
Yeah, and Jeff Taylor has kind of it loves stacking, but with the salaries, it makes it tougher. In redraft, it's a lot easier. And I agree, and I think that's kind of why my preference, if I'm going to do a Dynasty Owner stack, is to stack sort of like one of the quarterbacks, like a Herbert or a Kyler Murray, with a more expensive wide receiver, because you're right, you can't really stack Josh Allen in a Stephon Diggs, because that's almost $60 million.
Yeah.
If you stack Carr with Davante Adams, it's $53 million. So, yeah. Okay. Nick says, I don't avoid stacks or go for them. If I'm doing anything, I'll go out of my way to handcuff a running back instead.
That makes sense.
Yeah. It was just more of a philosophy question here. As we get into the 11th round, this is like when you're listening to a baseball game and they start talking about random subjects, like who's in the stands and like what they had at the buffet at the writers buffet beforehand.
What is it?
I'm saying we're getting into the mid rounds. This is where like the baseball announcers, radio announcers usually start talking about what they had at the buffet today. Oh, did somebody have a Josh Allen? Josh Allen, Dawson Knox. I missed. If that one was here, I missed that. No, it's not.
Oh, he's just saying he likes it.
He's just saying, yeah, that's a good one to talk about, because like you're pairing the expensive quarterback with the cheap tight end. Yeah.
Yeah, to a Waddle stack is a good one with the cheap quarterback, cheap wide receiver. That's a great stack, actually.
Yeah, but then, in my opinion, you have to have two as your quarterback.
Yeah, that's
which I'm not a huge fan of.
I might have overlooked that a little bit. Yeah, I'm not a big Tua guy. I mean, he's got the talent or the tools around him this year to succeed. So we'll see, but I don't know.
Yeah, actually, one of my favorite things to do is I think I like the possibility of Teddy Bridgewater kind of hanging out there. I think his contract is $6.5 million, and with Tua's injury history. I mean, I wrote about this, and he hasn't played a full season of football since 2018. So that's a long time not to play. That's a long time to have to basically miss at least a couple of games every year after that. So I do like Teddy Bridgewater as kind of like if you need a quarterback, you can kind of have something. I think he's a good person to have, because I wouldn't doubt that he starts a couple of games this year. Not wishing an injury on anybody, but I just think it's a fact of life. All right. So.
Oh, man, both of my cute picks just went Michael Carter and Ronald Jones. I like both of them. Like I said, Jets took Breece Hall, but Carter still is a talented kid. He's going to get some opportunities, and who knows with CEH.
Sure. Well, I mean, but at this point in round 10 or 11, you really there's only backup running backs available.
Yeah, the running back list is very thin right now.
Yeah, I mean, the last real starting running back who went was Ezekiel Elliott in the 10th round. And again, we talk about Dynasty Owner being different. When is Ezekiel Elliott going to be in the 10th round in any of your other drafts?
Yeah, he's not.
I mean, never. I mean, and no offense to Chris, I don't remember anybody in the chat saying, "Great pick, Chris," with Zeke Elliott there in the 10th round. I don't remember any of those platitudes going Chris's way. But all right, So I'm going to take a look at the board. I'm going to take a quick look at the board. I'm just going to see who's kind of the most projected points out there. Some of these players, some of those big contracts that a lot of us don't like, with the Christian Kirk and Kenny Golladay kind of right there at $18 million a season each, and kind of projected it'd be high 100s in terms of points. I mean, if you look at other players around them, I mean, you've got Tyler Boyd pretty much projected as the same number of points as those guys and $7 million less. So, all right, we'll see what we got here.
Rashad Penny. That's not a bad pick there. He looked like an absolute stud at the end of last year. So if he can stay healthy, it'll be interesting to see how the rest of his career plays out. He definitely has the talent.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah. Eli said he had Carter in the queue.
Yeah, me too. I should have took him last round. But I like Jacoby Myers a lot with Mac Jones. I think they just fit well together.
They do. And yeah, it's interesting. I saw somebody say something about how the Patriots receivers from 2021 might be not too relevant this year. And I don't know if I agree. I didn't agree with that. I'm not sure Devontae Parker and the Thornton kid from Baylor are going to take over the Patriots wide receiver core for this season. But so I still think Jacoby. Belichick always likes that slot receiver who can just go and get open, and you can throw him the 5-yard pass and 6-yard pass and just chunk up, especially because Dynasty Owners of PPR chunk up those points. And that's Jacoby Myers. I mean, he did it with Welker. He did it with Edelman. And now I think Jacoby Myers is just kind of the next player in that sort of progression.
Yeah. Yep. I agree there. And Jacoby Myers just seems like a smart player. He's never seems to be out of in the wrong spot. And Bill Belichick loves that.
Yes. All right. Okay, I'm gonna take somebody who I really like, actually, and for this his price, I just took it's not appearing, Russell Gage from the Buccaneers at $10 million, and I have to say, Big Grizz went with Adam Thielen for $16 million right before there. I'd much rather have Russell Gage at 10 personally. I think if Tom Brady is calling you to personally recruit you to join the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you have to think he's going to throw him the ball.
Yeah. There's no way he does. Like, they're paying him $10 million. Tom Brady, he understands the salary cap and all that. That's why he takes lesser deals. So for him to call Russell Gage, you're spot on there. He's going to have a decent year, especially until Chris Godwin gets back at the least.
Yeah, and I don't think Brady's calling Cameron Brate to ask him to come back. Maybe he is. I'm not sure. But if he's calling Russell Gage to tell him that he wants him, I mean, you got to think he's got plans, or at least thoughts on what he wants to do. Okay. Yeah, here we go. We got Tyler has a comment about wanted to go Donovan Peoples-Jones and Carter. Agree with the Carter talk. I think Donovan Peoples-Jones with Watson could be solid, with Cooper getting most of the attention from the D. But it looks like, I guess what happened was that New Mexico Mountain, Tyler's are Detroit's finest in the 12 slot, and Donovan Peoples-Jones got taken right before him. So it sounds like he would have taken Donovan Peoples-Jones, and he took KJ Osborne. So KJ Osborne must have been his replacement pick for that.
And that's not a bad pick there. KJ Osborne's, I mean, he did well last year. Adam Thielen's getting a little bit older. So he's a cheap wide receiver, so you can't go wrong with that pick.
All right, Tim, I did you a solid, Tim, so I'm going to see if you do it. Oh, okay, Dave's counterpoint is not enough balls in Tampa. Okay. True, but I still think I'm okay with Gage, and honestly, if I look at my team, Gage is a bench wide receiver at this point on this team right now. So he's not a bad bench. He's a pretty dang good bench player in terms of this team. My team could also maybe use another running back, but I've seemed to have gone a little receiver heavy, but we'll see.
Yeah, I kind of did as well. I mean, I got 5 receivers right now and only 3 running backs, but the running backs are so slim right now, you almost have to.
Yeah, no, that's kind of been my thought process the last couple of rounds, but I think that's the way it is right now. I mean, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wide receivers right now. That's kind of a lot, but we'll mix and match them. I'd mix and match them a little bit.
Ooh,
Okay.
Daryl Henderson. Snipe me. I was
Well,
gonna take him as my handcuff to
okay.
to
All right. Well,
Cam
Jeff is
Akers.
disagreeing with Dave. Godwin out at least first half of season. I'm not sure. I don't know about. Okay, I don't know about that, but we'll just say it. Gage will occupy the Antonio Brown slot role if Gronk doesn't return. Wheels up. I think Gronk returns, but that's fine.
Yeah, I think Gronk's coming back too. I went Jamal Williams there. Like I said, I only got 3 running backs. I just kind of need somebody to slot in on the bench, unless I'm going to start, a receiver in my flex spot. But I plan on, if this was a real league, I would plan on starting Williams, Akers, and Dobbins every week, and
Mhm.
then I would have Jamal Williams as a bench
Okay.
option.
Okay. Well, interestingly, quarantine went with Trey McBride from the Cardinals, and then a couple of rookies taken, and then Skull Vikings went with Malik Willis from the Titans. So interesting that Trey McBride has been drafted, but Zach Ertz has not been drafted.
Hey, there's another stack: Desmond Ridder and Drake London. It's a future stack.
Yes, a future stack. Wonder if was your dad going to take Ridder, or was he going to take Willis? Did he want Willis and took Ridder instead, or?
No, he wanted Ridder just because he had London.
Okay. Very good. And so is there, I guess we can't say, it's hard to say this because there are people listening and stuff like that, but is there anybody, I see 2 players out there who I'm kind of surprised are still hanging around out there now.
Oh yeah, me too.
I mean, two are really sticking out to me. And I almost went with one of them with the Russell Gage pick, and maybe in retrospect I should have, but I didn't. But because I have 7 wide receivers, and you can only really play 5 of them in Dynasty. You can start 2 wide receivers, a flex, and then 2 bench wide, and you have 2 bench wide receivers getting you points. So some of these guys who are sitting here are going to be bye week replacements, but
There went one of the guys I was surprised, DJ Moore.
yes, DJ Moore was the one I was very surprised at. I kept avoiding him to give Tim the chance to draft him, and I didn't.
Oh, that's
I took Russell Gage instead of DJ Moore purely for the fact that I wanted to tempt him into taking him where he took Darrell Henderson and be the first one to go over 100 million. Well, actually, you're over 100 million now too. So, but I mean, we're basically halfway through, and if you look at the salaries, I mean, it's funny. Your dad went from having the lowest salaries to having the most in like 3 rounds.
I'm about to surpass him now.
He has $111 million. Okay.
I'm gonna take David Njoku.
Jay, you have 117 million. Anybody else over 100 million? No. Eli's at 95 million. And Joshua Chip Wasp is at 97 million. And give it up for New Mexico Mountain at $21.9 million.
That's
I mean,
insane.
that is 50 million. The guy drafting next to him, Tyler Walker, has the next lowest at 71.5. So New Mexico Mountain has $50 million less than everybody else.
Well, we were critiquing him a little bit for taking McLaurin, Metcalf, and AJ Brown, but he'll be able to afford them, no problem.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, okay. All right, Tim took the first kicker. He took Tyler Bass. So I have to find a player, and I probably need a running back. And let's see what Grizzly running backs are available here now. Ugh, geez. All right. This is kind of this. I don't use the word grizzly lightly. This is pretty grisly out here. I mean, oh, geez. Wow. I mean, Neiman Hines is your best option here. I don't know. Debating
Yeah,
whether I
there's
should
not
just
much.
I should just. Yeah, I'm not like. I mean, I'm not. Yeah. Yikes. Yikes. I don't think I have a second quarterback, so I don't know if I should just kind of go grab Marcus Mariota and be happy with it. I think that's what I'm going to do. I took Marcus Mariota.
There you go. Get a second starting quarterback there. I feel like he's going to start all year more than likely, outside of injury.
Yeah, I agree, especially because they didn't take if they had taken somebody in the first round. I think when they took Ritter, means they're probably going to give Mariota a chance to be the starter all year. And I will probably try to back this up with somebody, another person, another quarterback later on, because I'm not confident in this. But where I'm sitting, it's probably what I needed to do. And then Big Grizz followed up very quickly with Evan McPherson. Remember, Dynasty Owner, we do have kickers, so you actually have to have kickers, and some of the kicker salaries are pretty expensive. So you have to, yeah. Yes. Tyler Bass drafted ahead of Rodgers, Wilson, and Prescott. Yes.
Yeah, you'll never see that.
And I took Marcus Mariota ahead of Rodgers, Wilson, and Prescott. So.
And then look at this, Amari Cooper in the 13th round. Like, that's not happening anywhere else. Not with Deshaun Watson as his quarterback.
Nope.
Good pick, Eli. Took Matt Corral for the Panthers there. That's an excellent.
He didn't even really need a quarterback. He has Brady and Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, but if Watson were to get suspended this year, maybe Matt Corral's playing. You never know.
That's true.
I would make sure the later rounds. I'd make sure to grab Brissett if I had Watson.
Yes, I would agree. I would completely agree. You have to wonder whether New Mexico Mountain's been saving his money so that he can take, at a certain point, he can take an Aaron Rodgers or a Russell Wilson. I mean, because right now, I mean, not to blow his strategy, but he's only got Zach Wilson as his quarterback, as his only quarterback, and I can't imagine that I'm not sure, and I wouldn't recommend to anybody to go into a fantasy football season with Zach Wilson as their starting quarterback.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable with that. Not with the way he looked last year.
No. I completely agree. So we'll see what he does. I mean, he does have more money than anybody else available. We'll see.
Yeah, he's got the freedom to do anything he wants here. That's for sure.
He does. That's one thing that you can say about him. The whole draft board is available to him at this point. Whereas like somebody like me, the whole draft board is not available. I cannot take. Actually, I wonder if we should show it because I don't think let's try to show it. I mean, because I'm at $104 million in salaries, and I still have 14. We still have 12 rounds left. So if I go to my mock draft lobby, see, I think I can still add them to the queue, but now is Dak Prescott been taken yet?
No, I don't think he has.
Okay, but if you look at my draft board here that I'm showing, I don't have Dak Prescott listed.
Let me check here. No, I don't either. Somebody did take him. Must have missed that one.
No, you can't. No, you couldn't draft him right now. You probably don't even have Jared Goff or Aaron Rodgers on your list because you can't afford either one. You can't afford those.
Oh,
guys.
That's why I can't see him. Okay, yeah that's right.
That's why you can't see those guys. So that's what I'm saying. So I can't see Dak Prescott because I can't draft him because the Dynasty Owner platform will not let me draft him because I would not be able to fill out, if I took him at $40 million, I would not be able to fill out the rest of my roster with players.
Yep.
So it's forbidding me basically from taking Dak Prescott.
And just a heads up, this will do this in your rookie drafts too. If you don't have enough salary under your cap to fit a certain rookie in, they're not going to show up on your draft board.
Yes. Yeah, you will only be shown players that you can take. So, so right now, I could take Jared Goff and still probably fill the rest of my roster with very, very low salary players. But if I pick somebody else the next time, then probably a bunch of these players, depending on the salary, a bunch of these players will go away. Not that I want to take Jared Goff or Carson Wentz or Matt Ryan, but it will not let me do that. All right, New Mexico Mountain with James White, who may have the highest salary on his team besides Zach Wilson.
Oh, that was an auto pick. So he'll be on auto pick until he turns that off.
Oh, okay. All right. And then Detroit's finest went with Nico Collins and Amari Rodgers. Okay.
Oh, you must have turned it off already.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no,
maybe he forgot. Maybe he didn't realize it was on. Darius Slayton. I think he's going for the world record of lowest Dynasty Owner salaries ever taken.
He's definitely on track.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this, not in the 14th round.
Yeah. Exactly. The draft room will block you out who you can't afford. Correct. I couldn't remember if anybody had taken Dak. That's why I was trying to make sure before I said that. Because I just couldn't remember whether he had been taken and I forgot about it, much like I forgot about Travis Etienne being taken. So there's a precedent for me forgetting people who have been taken. So.
Oh, good comment, Eli.
Yeah, I'll show Eli's comment. Go ahead. You can read it out, Jay.
I said, I might sound like a homer here, but I stopped playing home leagues. The salary cap in DO forces you to really pick and choose. I am not playing any other leagues, just DO with 2 teams. And I agree with you. I still have a few home leagues I do just because they've been going for so long. I'm not going to exit out of them or anything like that. But yeah, if I join a new league, it's Dynasty Owner.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you. All right. So we've got Joshua Jet Chip Wasp on the clock here. See what I'll look a little closer at his team. He took Marquez Callaway, and then Eli took Gerald Everett, who I know you're high on this year.
Yeah, I do. I like Jared Everett quite a bit this year paired with Justin Herbert. The only thing that'll really put a damper in him is if Donald Parham turns out to be something good.
Yeah, which I'm hoping for, actually, because I do have a few shares of him in different places. So, all right, we got the Human Fund on the clock, followed by Big Grizz. And Big Grizz actually has the money to, if he wanted to go out and grab Dak Prescott or Aaron Rodgers, he's got the money to do that. We'll see if he does. And the Human Fund took Daniel Jones, who went in the 14th, who's going in the 14th round despite having a $6 million contract for a quarterback. I think that says a lot about what folks think of Daniel Jones. Oh, shoot. I guess nice by Big Grizz with J.D. McKissick. That's who I was going to go for. But that's okay. That's okay. We'll make it happen. Well, I'm definitely looking running back here. I mean, and if you look at these high salary running backs, there's really nobody around. I mean, gosh,
no, there's really not. You're looking at potential here or a handcuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sorting by sort of projected points, but I mean, these are projections. I'm not sure if they mean much of anything, but I'm not seeing anything kind of special sticking out at me here that I can hang my hat on. So I think I'm going to kind of do the best out of these guys who I think there is out there. And I think I'm going to take Raheem Mostert.
Oh, you got me.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think he's got a shot in Miami.
Good. And Tim went with Isaiah Spiller from the Chargers.
That's not a
That's a
bad
good
pick
pick.
there.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I can't even. What is Spiller's salary? I think it's just a little over $1 million, if I remember his draft spot correctly. I'd have to look, but I don't have it. Oh, I can look. Actually, I have the
Hey,
draft
there
tracker.
goes Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, who took Aaron Rodgers?
Quarantine.
Oh, okay.
And I
Yeah.
followed it up with Trey
Yeah.
Sermon.
Oh, yeah. So Isaiah Spiller, his salary is just under 1.1 million. All right. You want to answer that question, Jay?
What's that?
Why nobody drafted Everett till now?
Oh, I don't think a ton of people are high on him. I love his athleticism. He was blocked. Pete Carroll loves running the ball. I know I say it all the time, but he was blocked a little bit by Disley last year. He was the better blocker, so he didn't see the field a ton. So I just think there's a ton of opportunities with him in this Chargers offense.
Okay. I mean, he's $6 million, and that's a lot to pay for
It is on a
somebody
gamble,
who,
yeah.
yeah, and part of it is, in my feeling, is that I have for me, I've already taken like Dalton Schultz. So Gerald Everett's my bench tight end unless something happens to Dalton Schultz. So I don't really want to spend $6 million on a bench tight end when I can probably find a couple. I could probably find a couple. I could draft 2 or 3 guys for that money combined and see if one of them pans out. All right, we've had a bunch of picks. You went with Trey Sermon. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Elijah Mitchell was just banged up quite a bit last year, so I figured grab him as a handcuff.
Oh, you have Elijah Mitchell already?
No, I don't, but it's just
Oh, okay.
if he goes down, I got a bench running back I can put in.
Okay. Okay, and then we had Tyler. I know how to pronounce his last name. So Algier that the champ took, and then Zamir White, and then Rashad White. Your dad went with the white boys at the turn on 14-15, and then
August.
champ took Brevin Jordan. And then, so you're back on the clock, Jay.
Yep. Same thing here. I don't know a whole lot about this kid, but Saquon Barkley gets hurt all the time, so I'm going to take whoever's behind him.
Okay. Oh, Hayden Hurst. That's a good choice.
That is a
with the
good pick.
Bengals. That's a good pick, actually. David Bell with the Browns. Okay, so I'm on the clock now, so I actually have to go look for a player.
Yeah, I had Brevin Jordan in my queue too. That's who I really wanted there, but the champ got him.
Yeah, and actually, I like the Hayden Hurst pick a lot. So we'll see. I don't really need as much as I think Zach Ertz is hanging as much. And I'll say this because I'm not going to take him, but I think Zach Ertz hanging out there at $10.5 million is really not a bad spot. I mean, I like him a lot better than Goddard at 14 million or Hunter Henry at 12.5 million. I do actually like Ertz a lot this year. I just don't want to. He's be a bench tight end for me, so I don't want to tie that. I don't want to tie that up. So we'll see. God, I mean, I really need running back. Might just do this because he's just so cheap. I'm just going to take Myles Gaskin.
That's not a bad pick there.
No, I mean, he went about 10 rounds earlier last year. I mean, I know he might be the third, honestly, but here's the thing about, I mean, I know it's a different regime and everything like that, but the Dolphins went out and got a couple of running backs last year, and then Gaskin was still the starter.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
I mean, and then if Chase Edmonds has never been a featured back, so injuries or health is definitely a concern there. So Myles Gaskin could get some solid opportunity this year at some point, and that's all you can ask for in round 15.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, basically, I spent a little under $3 million to kind of secure the second running back in Miami, whoever it may be. So, I mean, this team has a long way to go. Of course, when I'm drafting, I'm usually not live streaming, so it makes it a little bit harder to remember the fact that I've got no running backs at this point. And so, okay, the Human Fund took Matt Gay, and so I mean, you've seen three kickers go off the board, and Gay's the most expensive of them at $2.4 million, I believe, somewhere around there.
Yeah, Jeff, I don't know when I clicked on him, it showed Giants, so I took him.
Yeah, and on the board here, it's showing undefined, so there may be a glitch that we'll have to look at. But that's what I mean. It's a lot easier if you're programming. If you think about like other, like ESPN or CBS or any of those. I mean, all they have to do is load in a team.
Yeah,
we have to load in a salary as well as a team, and then there's what's called a player key, which is like identifies the player. So you have to match those up. So it's not quite as simple as you might think in terms of the back end, but the salary part makes it the sort of the extra step that we have to take that like ESPN and those sites aren't taking. So, and when you're loading up thousands of players, there's going to be a mistake or two.
Yeah.
But, but the good part is that this is just a mock draft. We're not playing with these teams. We've got 2 weeks to square all this away. So, all right. So Neiman Hines goes for the Colts to Jet Chip Wasp. So, I thought about Neiman in terms of the Gaskin pick, but I don't know. I just don't think he's $6.2 million with a running back. So I guess I'd rather draft 25. If I was drafting this league, I think I'd rather draft 25 and then grab a couple of $1 million players to as dart throws.
Good pick there with Drew Lock, Detroit's finest. Tyler. That's a $1.7 million quarterback you just got in the 15th round, and it looks like he's going to be starting all year long.
You think he's going to start over Geno Smith?
Yeah, I don't see how he doesn't. I don't have much faith. Geno Smith's a solid backup quarterback, come in and get you a game or two, but I think that's about his ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he took both of mine out of my queue too, Chris. I loved both of them. I like Brian Robinson a lot. I think he's underrated coming out. He just looked very, very good in Alabama, especially against Georgia. He looked good against Georgia.
All right. Are we gonna be able to? Can we go predict and can see who? I'm not looking at the draft board, so I'm going to see who New Mexico Mountain's going to take with
whoever the cheapest player is.
Yeah, I was just going to say I'm going to guess he's going to take Van Jefferson or maybe take Sammy Watkins.
Watch him shock the world and take Christian Kirk.
Yeah. Or Dak Prescott.
He's almost going to have to. I mean, there'll be plenty of quarterbacks for him to pick and choose from.
True, actually, and the way things are going, I mean, if you look at this, there's not many teams who can actually take like a Dak Prescott. In reality, Jeff can take him. Tim probably can't. It's just too much. Big Grizz could take him, and Tyler can take him. So he really, yeah. And it gets to a certain point, he's going to be the only one who's going to be able to afford him, and then he can take him in the 25th round.
Yeah, the most expensive quarterback I can see right now is Baker.
Yeah, true. Let's see who I can see. I mean, yeah, I can see Derek Carr at 25 million. Oh, actually, no, I can see Carson Wentz at 32, but I can't see Jared Goff. So it shows you even a difference. I mean, that's $1.5 million difference, but I can't see Jared Goff because I can't afford that salary, because if I took that salary on, I wouldn't be able to draft enough players with the rest of my picks.
Right.
So then, therefore, he's not available to me to take at this point. So I won't see Jared Goff. I won't see, and at a certain point, like the Derek Carrs and the Ryan Tannehills will start coming off that list because I just won't be able to afford them.
Little kicker run. Oh, he took Rodrigo from me. It's my favorite name in the NFL is Rodrigo Blankenship. I wanted him. There goes Russell Wilson.
Oh, who took Russell Wilson?
Big Grizz got him.
Okay. And if you look at his salaries, I mean, he went from having one of the lowest salaries to he's second most right now in salaries next to you, just by taking Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
which shows you how much it escalated. I think he was in the bottom 3 of salaries probably before the Russell Wilson pick, and now he's second highest. So, I'm on the board. I better get going here. I'm yakking and not looking at things.
Oops, I accidentally hit mute on my mic. Let's see here.
I got too many.
Which direction are you? You need a. Oh, you got your back.
I need a lot of things. I need a lot of things. Yeah, or I could do this. I mean, yeah. All right, I'm gonna be a homer.
Who'd you grab? I didn't even look.
Nick Folk from the Patriots. Yeah, speaking of homer picks, Tim took Dearness Johnson. Oh, quarantine. I have to say, two solid picks in a row. Hayden Hurst and James Washington. I'm not sure about James Washington now, but he had the chance to be like the wide receiver 3 in Dallas, and so yeah, I'm going to agree with that. That's a great pick by Quarantine. I'm not sure anybody should really love James Washington, but it's okay to have mild feelings for him. I'm not sure love is a good word for James. Anybody should have for James Robinson.
I will be right back. I'm gonna grab a drink real fast.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I need to do that too. All right, I'll stick with you guys, and while Jay grabs a drink, and then it's hard being on here for. How long have we been on here for? Over 2 hours now. So Keyshawn Vaughn to Jay took from the Buccaneers. Yeah. Not sure about the Rashad White pick doing that. So I guess Jay and his dad are going to have a fist. Maybe Jay and his dad will have a fight over who's going to be the Buccaneers' backup running back.
It'll eventually be Rashad White, but I think Keyshawn Vaughn will have it. If Fournette goes down this year, he'd be the one to get the majority of the touches, but I think it would be more of a committee.
Yeah, it's funny because I think he played pretty well last year at the end of when he had a chance. I mean, he's never really had any chance.
No, he really hasn't.
So, I mean, it's kind of hard to do. It's kind of hard when you're not seeing the field. I mean, to produce. It's like, go ahead.
I think they took him with a second-round pick, if I remember right. It was either a second or a third. I know it was decently high.
Yeah, I can't remember. The other guy, speaking of chances, we talk about that, is Dearness Johnson, who Tim took. I mean, if you look at his overall stats, you're like, he's not that great. He had like 80 points or something. But if you look at the game by game, he had 3 games of over 20 points, and then he didn't play any other times.
Yeah.
So in the 3 games he played, he did extremely well, but he didn't play in many games. He didn't play much in many games except for those 3. So it's a little misleading. Those, if you look at those overall ranking and stats from last year, that's very misleading for Dearness Johnson's kind of the one example I can remember off the top of my head. So,
And the Browns put a second round tender on him, so they really like him if they're putting that type of tender on him. I mean, he's definitely got talent. Like you said, he blew up in the games that he actually got an opportunity in.
Yeah. I'm going to leave it on here. All right, Josh Palmer. I'm going to go grab a drink too. That was a good suggestion.
All right, no problem. All right, we got Jalen Tolbert and Josh Palmer coming off the board. I like Josh Palmer quite a bit. Just anybody paired with Justin Herbert, I'm pretty high on just because of his talent. Jalen Tolbert, my dad's a Cowboys fan, so he's going with the homer pick there. See where he goes next here. See, everybody's getting up there pretty much in salary, so we're going to have to start taking some cheap players here. All right, we had Jeremy Ruckert, tight end. The Jets got like 9 tight ends on their roster, so that worries me a little bit, but they did spend a decent pick on him, so he's going to get an opportunity at some point.
Yeah, that was a surprise. Are you talking about Jeremy Ruckert?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, they spent like $50 million on tight ends, and then they draft one. Yeah. Maybe they know what they're doing. Who knows?
Oh, you got me, Jeff. You turd. I wanted him so bad. I should have took him last pick. That's all right. I'll take Adam Troutman here. Jamison Crowder, like I said, when he's been with the Jets, he's produced very well in PPR leagues, and I don't see a whole lot different in Buffalo. He's going to take over that Cole Beasley role if Isaiah McKenzie doesn't get it.
Okay. Had a lot of quick picks there.
Jeff says he got a trade proposal during the mock draft. Let's hear what the trade proposal is.
Oh,
we'll break down the trade while we're here.
Somebody's watching the mock draft and seeing who he likes and doesn't like. Is that what's happening?
It might be.
It might be is right. I mean, I'm looking to see if there's anybody I want to take. God. No. God, no. No. Sorry, I'm looking. Oh, you know what? I don't necessarily love this pick, but I love the value.
Yeah, that's really all you're looking for here.
Well, especially because I have Dalton Schultz already. If I go up, I have Dalton Schultz and I have Noah Fant already. So I'm really just kind of filling out hopefully 2 weeks of a bench tight end with Ricky Seals-Jones. So I don't really need to spend a lot of money there. And so I didn't. I mean, I went almost as cheap as you could possibly go. I mean, if this was a real team, I would be very much hurting at running back, but all right. And then we had Greg Joseph go, Harrison Bryant from the Browns. But you can see where most of us have to go at this point. If you see this, we're round 17, so we have 8 rounds left, and some of us are looking at only $30 million worth of contracts left. So we can't go grab anybody really big and expensive out there.
Yeah, at most right now, I think the absolute most I could pay somebody is probably like $8 to $10 million, and that's going to put me in a struggle the rest of the way through.
Yeah.
Sammy Watkins, that's a good pick this slate for he got signed by Green Bay. Like I said, they have no offense, so somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it, right? I mean, yeah, if you look at some of these players who are available, and just there's not a lot out there. So, all right, Harrison Butker, Sammy Watkins. So one thing to look for people if you're doing a draft or a mock draft is if you hit this research button, it doesn't have the it used to have the sort of the dynasty dollars per fantasy point. So you can see all these things that I'm hitting. Like this is the projected points. This is the 2021 how many points they had. This is kind of their salaries. So it's got kind of some of the basic stats with salary and projected points and how many points they had last year. So a few different tools to use at your disposal during the draft. Detroit's fine at spending money, $20 million on Mike Williams in the 17th round.
And Zach Ertz following him. Wow.
Zach Ertz was the guy who I felt like was sitting out there. I mean,
yeah,
that's a great pick. That's a great pick, Tyler. Great pick. I mean, that's just, I mean, you've gotten a tight end one. I mean, you have TJ Hawkinson already, but you've gotten pretty much a guy you could start almost every week in the 18th round.
Yeah, and he looked good towards the end of the year last year once he started to get a rapport going with Kyler Murray. He did not look bad at all.
No, he did look good. Yeah. Yeah. You should have felt good. Interesting. Okay, so Jet Chip Wasp has gotten his kickers, and so that's the thing. I mean, a lot of times, I mean, you do a lot of these leagues, and you draft kickers. You wait till round 23, 24, 25. But what happens if you get that far and the only kicker is left? I'll kind of show my screen here. What happens if the only kickers left are at that point are like guys who are making $4 million and you don't have $4 million? Then you're going to be down picking these kickers who are all free, who make $1 million, who are all free agents, which also means unlikely to play. So don't forget, I mean, kickers might not be the most important position in the league, but you need to have them.
Yep, you don't want to take zeros there, and you almost want to have 3 of them. Otherwise, you're gonna take 0 on your bench for 2 weeks during your season. It's not going to hurt you as much as other positions will, but I still definitely recommend it.
It's not it's not imperative, but it's a good thing to have. All right, I have a pick in mind. We'll see if Big Grizz is going to snipe me. He may have, if he's looking, he may have seen my screen, and he might have seen me kind of stop for a moment on where that player appeared, but maybe he wasn't paying as much attention as I'm hoping he wasn't. We'll see. But I'm not sure. I'm at the dumpster diving portion of the draft, but I'm getting pretty close.
Yeah, me too.
Well, and that's the problem. I mean, you look at the philosophy, you and I are looking for value at this point. We're looking for very low salaries. And then Tyler looked at his salary composition and said, okay, who are the best guys out there who I could get? And he took Mike Williams and Zach Ertz. I couldn't take Mike Williams and Zach Ertz, even if I wanted them at this point in the draft.
Yep, me neither.
It's just not possible. So, but Tyler did it so that he was able to do that. And I mean, if this was a league that we were playing in, he'd be very, very, very happy with that. I would be very, very happy with that. I mean, and I'm not a huge Mike Williams fan, but if you're happy with the rest of your team and you can add pieces like that at the end, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and it's something you're not, like, we keep saying it, but it's just something you're not going to see anywhere else. You really won't.
Yeah, well, Big Grizz took Jalen Guyton, so I'm going to go down and take somebody. It's probably not we'll see, but I think Damian Williams for Atlanta. I mean, I think that backfield, in terms of comparing with Cordarrelle Patterson, is wide open, and Damian Williams is $1.62 million. So nothing wrong with that. Good, Tim took Derek Carr, 25 million. Derek Carr has I think the single most menacing face looking on the Dynasty Owner platform. I mean, have you seen the Derek Carr picture do you see the Derek Carr picture? Look at the Derek Carr picture. And then look at everybody. Most other guys are smiling or, whatever. Or at least, I mean, Derek Carr looks like this looks like Derek Carr's mugshot.
Hang on, I gotta find him real quick.
I
can't see him because I can't afford him.
Oh, okay. Well, when you get a chance, look at Derek Carr's picture. I mean, it looks like a mugshot. I mean,
there it is. I see him. Tim just picked him. Yep.
Yeah.
It
exactly.
That's funny. And he's the nicest guy too. Like I can tell by hearing him talking in interviews and stuff. He's one of the nicest guys in the league.
Yeah, exactly. And his picture looks like it's like, if you don't take a good picture of me, photographer, I'm going to kill you with my bare hands. All right, the champ took Cade York from the Browns, trying to get the Evan McPherson rub from last year. I mean, let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about kickers. Let's have if you took Evan McPherson last year in a Dynasty Owner draft, how good was that pick?
Yeah, I feel like he's only going to be better this year with a better offense.
I think he may have been number 2 by the end of the year, but he was he was definitely top 5, and he was under $1 million, and you probably got him really late. And if you drafted as a rookie, you probably drafted him in the 3rd round or something. That's a great, great, great pick.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
I mean, so yeah, I mean, I just find that to be very good. And your dad decided to go back to back with kickers with Randy Bullock and Greg the Leg. So you can see now. I'll look up. You can look at all the kickers are orange. Look at all the orange it's starting to fill in here in the 15th through the 19th round. I think that's a little earlier than many Dynasty Owner drafts, but in any of my drafts, I mean, like especially like a redraft league, I mean, you'll even kicker till the last 2 rounds or last round, depending on what you do. I mean, I play with defense and kickers and some things, and like their last round or next to last round generally. But here you got people taking kickers in the 15th and 15th round. Oh, Jay, you found a nice pick, Isaiah McKenzie.
Yeah, we had Benjamin and then Isaiah McKenzie go. Like I said earlier with Isaiah McKenzie, it's going to be him or Crowder in that slot role, and I could even see him playing both at times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Quarantine took Brian Edwards from the Raiders, denying Tim the chance to stack him with Derek Carr. All right. Look at this. Well, normally I should also maybe I'll show this. So when you're drafting teams too, you can also, over here on the right, you can also look at the draft results and you can pick by team. So I could look at my own team here and see what I've had picks, and then I could look at my roster, and it would show me, for example, like it shows me basically based on my picks, my starting lineup, and then it would show me, okay, so like example, I don't have a practice squad, I don't have a bench kicker yet, and that's a position that gets points. And it shows me all my bench spots. So I've got 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and a running back on the bench, on my practice squad right now. But I don't have one position, a bench scoring position. So I don't know if anybody else has kind of some of those. If you look at some other teams, but we're looking at Tim, who's on the clock here. Tim doesn't have a backup tight end yet, a bench tight end yet. He's got a lot of running backs, but he doesn't have a bench tight end, and that player will get you points in Dynasty Owner. Not to bias Tim on his pick, but I'm just showing that you can look at this as you're drafting, so you can know what you're doing. And he took Anthony Ferkser with that pick. But you can, if you're drafting a Dynasty Owner, if you're doing a mock or during your draft, you can look at this and look at your team and see, okay, what do I have on my roster and what positions have I filled out? So which is a good feature to have. You can Also, I'm just usually do latest results, but all right, we'll see what we're looking at here. Probably need a I can still see some of the most expensive quarterbacks. All right, and let's see who we got here for running backs. Keep looking at the most expensive ones. I should probably be sorting by projected points.
Yeah, that's what I switched.
But I mean, is Davante Booker really going to get 125 points when he's not even on a roster yet? I fail to see that as happening. But I could be wrong. Well, I have a lot of Buffalo Bills, and as a Patriots fan, that's probably not a good thing, but I just took Zach Moss. Because if Singletary goes down, it could be the Zach Moss show, and that's $1 million, and he's only a little over $1 million. So
yeah, not a bad pick there.
I feel happy about how I filled that out. And so now I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds left, and I have $114 million in salaries and $145 million salary cap. So I have $31 million, and I'm going to want to try to leave a few $1 million for because we draft up to 35, but we have 30-man rosters, so you can add players after your draft. So you want to kind of have some room there if you're going to be after the draft. You don't want to go up to the 145.74 because then you're stuck. So true Eli, but it's $1 million. It's $1 million chance. I mean, there's not, unless you take a 5th round pick this year or 6th round pick this year or an undrafted rookie free agent, you're not getting many players at $1 million who could possibly play for a very good offense. So I think with my salary cap situation, that's probably my best move at this point.
Yeah, I'm getting up to it. I only got just under 20 million left to spend with these last 5 or 6 picks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're all getting. I mean, except for New Mexico Mountain, we're all getting to. I think only Jeff the Champ. He's the only one else. He's the only one under $100 million in salaries right now. Most of us are in the 120 range. Actually, I'm on the low. I was kind of surprised. I'm on the lower half. I'm kind of probably right in the middle at 114 million. I thought I was at a worse spot, but I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people higher than me. So that's interesting. I thought I was more at the higher end. Okay. A couple kickers went off. Van Jefferson, DJ Chark. Several kickers. We've had a three cup. Wan'Dale Robinson interrupted the kicker run.
Wow, he's only at 35 million, 20 rounds in.
Yeah, but you got to think he is in the last round, pretty much taking Dak Prescott. I mean, the only other person who could take Dak Prescott right now is Jeff, and he already has Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts. So I'm not sure he's even considering that at this point.
Yeah, there is nothing left on the board.
No.
Picking through scraps now. No, you still got players though like Robert Woods, Dallas Goedert, players that would never be available in other leagues. And I don't know that they'll even get picked here.
Yeah. We'll have to maybe on the podcast on Thursday when we tape it, we'll have to take this draft and we'll have to sort of do a dive on who who wasn't taken, who wasn't taken, who we're kind of surprised at.
Okay, that works for me.
Yeah, because I think, assuming it's hard to look at it now because we can't see all the players.
Yeah.
But we can look at the board afterwards and kind of see it. But I think, it'll be interesting to see who is left standing out there. I mean, because I can remember last year people like Adam Thielen being left on the board in a league I played in, and there were a few other guys they were just expensive. They were just expensive. I don't remember if Amari Cooper was on a board then, the league I was in.
He was for me, him, and actually Keenan Allen was as well at the end. But beginning of the 2021 season, Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen were both available in one league.
Wow. Jeffrey Wilson, that's a good pick. Joshua Chip Boss, that's a good pick.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen in San Francisco in that backfield. They utilize everybody.
Yeah, and what's Wilson's contract is around $1 million or so. Okay, pardon me 1 second.
Okay. We had Samaje Perine go next. That's Joe Mixon's back up there. I'd be interested to see if Chris Evans gets a shot this year or not.
Okay. I'm not the only one.
Got the human fund up next. We'll see where he goes here. He's getting up there in salary as well. He's at 124. Braxton Berrios.
Oh, okay. He's expensive, but the way the Jets used him last year, he might still have a little bit of a role.
Yeah. And if an injury happens, you got a replacement level player for a few weeks.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's see. Just do that. All right, I think I have my next pick kind of lined up. All right, who's taken? Who's taken up?
Oh, he got me, man.
Who got you?
Big Grizz with Tyler Huntley. I was really hoping to get him to back up Lamar Jackson.
Oh, very good, very good. That's under $1 million too. That's a good pick. Well, speaking of
he looked good.
Speaking of backup quarterbacks, I'm going to take one who I think might play a little bit this year.
There you go. That's a good pick.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hurting because right now I really only have 2 quarterbacks. And so with Mariota and Justin Herbert, which is funny because I've spent hardly any money on quarterbacks. I mean, if you look at Herbert, a little over $6 million, and Marcus Mariota, $9 million, and Jacoby Brissett. I only spent $20 million in quarterbacks.
Wow, yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was by design, but where I spent my money like NFL teams are spending their money now. I spent them on wide receivers: Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen.
Yeah, that's what I did too. I spent it.
Cooks and Gage.
I forgot you took Cooks.
Yeah, and actually, he would sit on my bench at this point. Most likely, but
yeah, I spent up at wide receiver and tight end with Kittle, Godwin, and Cortland Sutton, and then Michael Gallup if you want to consider him expensive.
I don't consider $11.5 million.
No, I don't either.
Expensive at all. Like I kind of left Russell Gage out of that because he's only $10 million. But I mean, I do have a large collection of receivers that are more expensive than that. But so who's off the board now? Who had just gone off the board? A couple of kickers, Chris Nager and Matthew Wright. Jake Elliott went off the board. I looked at Jake Elliott at one point last year. He was making like almost $4 million, and he literally was scoring like 4 Dynasty Owner fantasy points a week. It was embarrassingly bad. I mean, it was at a certain point where you might as well have been better off just getting rid of the salary and and like having a kicker for nothing. I mean, because like if he was on your bench, you're getting 5 points or 6 points, and you take 25% of that, you're getting 1.5 points. I guess if you ever lost the week by 1.5 points, you'd kick yourself. But wow,
That's a good pick there by my dad. I actually forgot about Alec Pierce, or I would have took him over Paris Campbell. Colts drafted him pretty high in the second round, and he'll probably start opposite of Michael Pittman at some point this year.
Well, all right. Your dad looks like he's getting ready. He knows what he's doing. Oh, there's another endorsement from Chris, who said Alex Pierce was in my queue.
Then Michael Thomas. Boy, yeah.
Wow, 19.25 million.
He spent up on his wide receivers too. Michael Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins, and DJ Moore. And they're all locked in for a little bit. So
yeah, but he's got your dad's got 4 rounds left in less than $3 million and like $3 million left.
Yep, you just gotta get some cheap guys here.
He's getting very cheap guys here. That's about all he can afford at this point.
Find someone to fill out that roster, and you'll be good.
Yep. That's all we're all doing. I mean, rare occasions you might find somebody who might play a little bit for you, or you're getting your kickers. I mean, the biggest thing player who's gone in the last few rounds was Ertz, I think, who's not a kicker. I guess DJ Chark. I forgot him in the 19th round, and Barrios in the 20th.
Get my other kicker out of the way.
Chris Evans from Quarantine. Did he already have? I think this is kind of a handcuff situation for him. Yes, he has Joe Mixon. That's right. I was trying to remember.
Antonio Brown. I was wondering if he was going to get drafted.
Wow. No, thank you, ma'am. No, thank you on that one. All right. I think I'll just do this. On the boring pick selection, I'm taking a kicker from the Commanders.
Joey Sly.
In what possibly might have been the most boring selection in this draft right now, I took Joey Sly, the Commanders kicker, in the 21st round.
Dude's got a crazy leg on him.
Yeah,
and kick some long field goals. Yeah.
Nick said these are the handcuffing rounds.
Yep, that they are.
Who sniped you in the 21st round, Chris?
Probably has to be Antonio Brown.
Really? Okay. We'll see. It's a little delay, so we can't. We'll have to see who sniped Chris in the 21st round. Sony Michelle.
Oh, I'm not able to see the chat for some reason. It's not loading for me.
Oh, it might be because you're a guest. I'm not sure if that's why. Yeah. So he said Sony. He said I'll put it on the screen. He said he was sniped, and he said it was Sony Michelle. So it's not.
Where do you think he's going, Chris? I don't even think he hasn't re-signed with the Rams, has he?
Yeah. I got 3 letters where he's going. CFL.
Hey, you can go play with T.O. and Johnny Manziel down in that fan control league in Atlanta.
Is that where where did they play that in Atlanta? Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I never knew where they played. All right, Davante. So Chris went with, who did Chris go with? I think he went with P. Ryan. No, he went with Mike Davis. Okay. I have Mike Davis. I was disappointed. I thought when the Falcons got him that he would be a thing, and he wasn't. And Eli took Devontae Booker. I got to think Devontae Booker ends up signing somewhere for like $1 million or whatever the minimum is for a player with his service tenure.
Yeah. There's no way he doesn't. He's been effective when he's been in. It's just a matter. He's not anything special, obviously. He's just a backup, but he's been effective.
Yeah. What was the question? Somebody said how did Jalen Reagor get drafted so high?
I haven't seen him get drafted.
I was just gonna say, did I see Jalen Reagor get drafted? I don't remember. I'm trying to remember when he was taken. Was he?
He was. He's not showing up.
Yeah. Do a quick search and see if I can find him. And remember, these projections are they should be a little bit off because simply they weren't done. Yeah, I'm not seeing him here. He would be in this $3 million range, isn't he?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. I guess I forgot when he was taken. We might have missed him. I'm gonna look for the. Look for the purple. Oh, there he was. Jet Chip Loss took him in the 16th round. Okay.
That's fair.
Oh, there goes Dak Prescott. I wonder if New Mexico Mountain was worried that Jeff was going to take him because he's pretty much the only person who could have taken Dak from him.
Finally spent some money.
Yeah.
We knew it was coming, just a matter of when.
Honestly, that's one way to do it. I mean, you look at if he's happy with this team. I mean, this leaves him basically. If this was a league, he would be the only person who could bid. Like if one of his quarterbacks went out, like if Justin Herbert went out, I would have not a lot of options to pick up another quarterback without dropping somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, just honestly, because like at this point, I only have $24 million worth of salary left. So, I mean, if we go to the board and sort of go to the quarterbacks and see who's available to me to take, I mean, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield are my options here. And, or Mitch Trubisky. So, if my quarterback goes out, I'm in a world of hurt. I have to drop somebody or trade somebody effectively to have any kind of chance to have anything. So speaking of guys who are still out there, Dallas Goedert is still out there. And I'm not sure who's taking him because I'm not sure who has $14 million worth of room at this point.
Skull Vikings looks like the best bet.
Yeah.
Unless he wants to roll with Alberto and Irv Smith and
I like
Trevor Jordan. But
I haven't taken a rookie yet. I think I just took my first rookie from the Broncos, the tight end from the Broncos. And so I don't mind that for my kind of fourth one. Oh, quarantine took him. All right. Nick, did you take him because we said he hadn't been taken yet? I mean, who else was Nick's tight ends at this point? I'm just curious. Tommy Tremble, Hayden Hurst, Trey McBride. Oh, well, he's going to start would start for that team. I mean, no doubter on that one. I mean,
so I took Trevor Siemian. I have Justin Fields, just a backup there.
Okay. Nick said he was queued up. Sure, Nick. Whatever you say, Nick. Oh, man. This has been a lot of fun. I hope if anybody stopped in for a few minutes, I hope they've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. We still have 3 more rounds to go. I know it's kind of weird to be picking. I mean, we're at the point where we're picking up Trevor Siemian, folks. I mean,
hey, there went Kirk Cousins.
Yep, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins went.
My next pick will be a known name too. You guys will know who he is. Don't worry.
He won't be a no name?
No, yeah, you'll know who he is. It's
okay.
It's a decent pick.
Okay. All right.
Steve's gonna love him.
Oh, I'm gonna love him?
Yep.
You can take Nelson Aguilar. You're not gonna take Nelson Aguilar, are you?
No. I thought about it though.
Really?
No,
why?
I'm joking.
Okay.
I just wanted to burn an amnesty provision.
I'm looking to see who's out here. Gosh, I mean. Oh, your dad took Carson Strong. It says Wolfpack, just so people know, because he wasn't drafted, if I'm correct, right?
Right.
He's an undrafted rookie free agent, so he will be in the player pool eventually, but he doesn't have a salary yet, and I don't know if he's signed with the team yet. So obviously, even if he signs with the team, until we have a salary, they don't go in. So we'll have to see. So, but he is available right now for mock drafting. I'm not sure what'll happen. I'm sure he'll sign with somebody, and we'll have a salary for him eventually.
Yep. I took Davante Parker.
Oh, good. He was out there. Yeah. I totally forgot about him. He would have been somebody who we would have talked about on Thursday if he had stuck around. So
Yeah. He's got a good shot at starting as the number one guy, really, with the Patriots with what they have there right now.
He does. So I'm gonna take
that was
AJ.
I was toggling between him and Parker, but the opportunities Parker will get in New England, I think, outweigh what AJ Green's gonna do.
I completely agree. But and I really don't need a wide receiver at this point. I have like 8 of them, but that just is too much value. That's honestly just too much value to pass up there at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, and I still have room. I still have almost $20 million to take 2 players with. I mean, not that I'm going to use all $20 million of it on those 2 players. I would want to save room for people with, I'd have 5 extra roster spots that I could use. So you kind of want to save some money, but I'm actually, I'm not sure about positions. I'm sure in terms of salary cap, I'm kind of, I'm in an okay position. You were between Parker and Berrios and Toes Berrios? Okay. I think I would have taken Parker in a heartbeat. I mean, he's only 1.25 million more. I guess you could be worried about him playing in New England, but I think I would have taken Parker in that spot all day long. So Jordan Love, I wonder what Jordan Love's percent ownership roster percentage is in Dynasty Owner. I bet it's really high. I bet it's 95 plus.
Yeah, it's got to be.
He's just an injury away from playing.
Yeah, and just all the noise this offseason from Rodgers, I think there was a realistic chance that he was going to start next year. So if he was available, people grabbed him up.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had him on one team. I traded for him a while ago. I think he's part of a deal, but the problem is he's hard to drop. He's hard to drop because if you think about it, what are you going to do? Sorry, I got to stop and pause and put this on. Tyler Walker, I remember doing my first Dynasty Owner draft 2 years ago and being upset I didn't land Love. Oh, how the times they have changed.
Yeah, it changes fast.
I think he may have been a throw-in. I can't remember how I acquired him, but I was like, I mean, $3 million. I mean, what happens if Rodgers gets hurt and he starts playing? You just, I didn't think it was a bad idea. And he's my 4th quarterback in that league. So he's really just kind of sitting there in case I need him. But it just, I don't know about draft. I guess if you're going to draft him at this point, you might as well, you would have to have many other quarterbacks, I feel like. And he's got 3 already. So he's really his 4th quarterback. So Mo Alley Cox. All right. Yeah, I mean, look at New Mexico Mountain. He spent Dak Prescott, Ryan Tannehill, Mo Alley Cox. I mean, he spent $75 million in 3 rounds. Oh, Tyquan Thornton from the Patriots, Calvin Austin from the Steelers.
Good pick there.
Yep, Terrence Marshall from the Panthers. Josh Reynolds. I was thinking about him. So I'm going to make a pick, and this is an interesting one for me, and I'll give a reason for this pick.
I had him queued up.
Really? Yep. Okay. And the reason for this pick purely is basically what he did last year, coming in and basically being like on the team like 3 days before their first game. He didn't even play the first game, and he ended up with like 144 points in 16 games. Just tells me that like if he sits around and doesn't get picked up in training camp, I just think, I mean, he could have the same. He could be the same situation this year.
Yeah, he's a plug and play type guy for anybody with injuries. You know, if
Yeah.
somebody goes down in training camp, Devontae Freeman's going to get a call and he's going to produce.
Yeah, I mean, right now I have him at 1.75 million. I don't think I'm gonna. He might not stay at that amount. He might give you a teeny bit higher, but I think, yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing, especially for a team that I've drafted, which is really doesn't have a lot of running back depth.
Yeah, and that's something you can really never have enough of.
Yes, agree. All right, so we're getting down to the final ones. And Tim has taken a lot of. He's taken a lot of wide receivers, kind of like Devin Duvernay, Zach Pascal, Anthony Schwartz at the end. Quarantine took Justin Jackson purely because he can afford him. His salary is super low.
I'm gonna take Byron Pringle. Just he's looked decent in Kansas City. If somebody gets hurt in Chicago, he might have a huge role. You never know. Just a dart throw.
Yeah, that's some of these. I mean, it's a $4 million. Unlike a lot of dart throws, it's an expensive dart throw.
Yeah, and my thought with this would be if I had to drop somebody coming into the season, I'm going to drop Brian Pringle. That way, I open up a little bit of cap space versus trying to deal with $1 million in cap space and find somebody.
Yeah. Would you have taken Josh Reynolds over Pringle if Reynolds was available?
No, I don't think so. Just because of the additions Detroit's made compared to what Chicago has.
Okay. Are you on the Autobahn?
No, my window's open.
Oh.
There's a loud motorcycle going by.
Okay. Wow, look at some of these players who aren't drafted.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who's all left once I get done.
I'm gonna have to see how.
My dad took JT Barrett just because he's a Buckeyes fan.
That's okay. At this point, that's okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Taking a few screenshots right now to kind of get our list of players we can talk about.
And all of you that are watching or joined into the mock draft, thank you guys for helping us out with this. It wouldn't be the same without you guys. I didn't want to try doing it with the computers picking and stuff like that.
No, that wouldn't have been much fun at all. All right, just kind of picking a few players then. All right. So where are we still on?
We are up to the champ now. My dad might have been on auto pick there. I'm not sure.
No, your dad actually was on. I have to pick players who have like no salary.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
He was. I mean, he is like $40,000 under the salary cap. So he's at this point he has taken like 3 guys. The last 2 were. JT Barrett's amount is probably $600,000. I mean, I'd say give or take.
Steve, this pick is going to upset you, but I'm going to take the Mac Jones replacement.
Oh,
Bailey Zapp.
The replacement.
No, I actually heard a lot of good things about Zapp coming out of into the draft process and all that. He just, obviously wasn't a high level prospect, but I think you guys got yourself a decent backup there.
Yeah, no, I think so. I mean, we don't really have a good backup. I mean,
who is it? Brian Hoyer?
Yeah, it's Brian Hoyer or Jarrett Stidham. Yeah, so I mean, we really don't have a backup.
Isn't it crazy that Stidham was actually a thought to start once for that franchise?
He was like when he was thought to be a starter for them, he was being drafted in like 10th round of Dynasty Owner drafts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like he was taken in like a crazy round of Dynasty Owner drafts. All right. I'm going to do this because I only think I saw the chatter about kind of some of the people who were let's see if it's refreshed. Yeah. I took Foster Moreau because he's so cheap, and if something does happen to Waller, he played pretty well last year. And Big Riz, I almost took Rex Burkhead. I was sitting there thinking about that. So as you'll see, I can't see the rosters anymore, but try to make sure that we can keep this mock draft up. So we are almost at the end. I know it's hard to see the board. I know it's hard to see the board right now because I also put it up, but it's hard. So the Human Fund took Pierre Strong from the Patriots, rookie from the Patriots. We've got 4 more picks, and then we'll kind of wrap up. Jeff and Nick are going to do a mock trade after this. Are you going to trade? Are you going to trade mock first round draft picks next year? All right. So then we've got 4 picks left, but thank you very much. Hopefully, if anybody tuned in for any of this or you're tuning in at the end, thank you for watching. And you'll see we came in about 3 hours, which is probably about how long your Dynasty or startup draft will take. It might go a little faster. It might go a little bit slower, but that's probably not a bad amount of time. That's about what I was thinking we would do. But hopefully if you check this out, go to dynastyowner.com. Check us out, Dynasty_owner on Twitter. And I hope you have as much fun. Mock drafts are open. Rookie mock drafts with salaries will be open on on Tuesday, I believe. And then rookie startup drafts start on the 14th of May. I don't know if any are scheduled, but that's when they start. So it's rapidly coming up. So
yep, after that rookie draft ends, it seems like it's no time in the season's here.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty soon it'll be training camps and everything.
Just a quick reminder, you guys' rookies drafts are slow drafts, so you have 24 hours to make a pick. You can trade and all that during your pick, so you guys got plenty of time to do whatever's needed.
Yeah. Still plenty of time. And time to pick up a team. I think you can even make up for a team, and you don't even have to enter. You don't have to enter a league yet. You can just sign up and kind of create an account, and then wait to see if there's a league you want to join, or if there's a draft date that you want to do it on. If your schedule doesn't allow, like if your schedule's not very flexible, you can do that. So you can do it whenever you can kind of schedule it whenever you want. I know some.
And another question I get asked a lot is, can you do like a private league? Yes and no. We definitely will let you have a full league of your friends and all that, but it has to be up to 12 people just because of the chase for the ring competition. We gotta keep it fair for everybody.
All right. I accidentally blocked somebody when I was trying to block some of these bots that have been jumping in. So 2 more picks, and then we're done. We'll have to take a look at the board at the end if we have time, and hopefully we can get Tim hope we can get the saves somehow. I think we'll get the draft results and maybe the draft board sent to us after this, so we can both take a look at it.
Okay.
In terms of preparing for Thursday, and you can also look at it if you're going to write about this. If you're going to write about talking to your dad about the article and everything, you can look at the draft board to see who is left out there and things like that. So hopefully, I know it's a little hard. The Excel, when you do draft, you do get on your league. For your league, if you do draft, you will get to be able to see the draft board as it was taken. You also get an Excel file of the picks so you can look at them. I know some people it's harder to do Excel, but the draft board is very visual in terms of just like we have here. It's easy. It's a better visual, but it's harder to follow through. Okay. Looks like we are. Oh, Draft results.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what that was. I got it too on.
Yeah, that looks like a error. Unless maybe I drafted another mock draft accidentally. It's possible that I drafted another mock draft. Yeah, see, this was here. I might have accidentally been in another mock draft room. Okay, so we can see the salaries here. Yeah, I'll get rid of this. Sorry, I think I was accidentally in another one. Yeah, so we'll look at this and see. So these are the salaries you can see. We can't really sort them, but New Mexico Mountain took the least. He had 114.7 million to recap. I think Jay's dad had the most at 145.7 million. Jay, I think you were next. Were you next?
I think Nick had 145 as well. Yeah, quarantine.
Oh yes, Nick does have 145 as well. Sorry, yeah, 145.7. I think your dad spent like $19,000 more than him.
Yeah, they're right up against it.
Exactly, they are right up against it. So if we were playing in this league, they would have no wiggle room, no additional players to add. So whereas like New Mexico Mountain would have a lot to add, I'd have a fair amount of space. I'd have $18 million worth of space roughly.
Yeah, you're sitting good. You and Eli both are sitting about where I like to be.
And Detroit's Finest has a little over 20. So yeah. So a lot of fun. Hopefully everybody else did have fun. We thank you for joining us. I can probably get off this screen here now. Stop screen sharing. So, all right, Jay, good to do this with you. Hopefully everybody had fun. And maybe we'll have to do another one closer to the season or something. We'll see what we can do. But this is like the first one basically with all these new salaries that we've done with 12 people. So hopefully it was illustrative if you are new to this, and if you've done Dynasty Owner before, hopefully it helped a little bit too. But we'll have to break it down on Thursday. It's kind of hard to do it.
Yeah.
So we'll try to break it down when we talk on Thursday. And don't forget the live stream on Wednesday at 4:00. And thanks a bunch, everyone.
Have a good day, guys.